welcome back to a brand new live stream on Lexus. Today we are previewing Norwich versus Watford. We're going to see the whole match unfold before our very eyes. It's kicking off in the next 15 or so minutes, just below that now. So not got a lot of time to preview. We've got a whole bout of championship games also to preview over as well. We'll be keeping an eye on all of those games taking place in around 3 o'clock. And this is just basically going to be a stream to celebrate 2023. It's my first bit of content for this year. It is also my last day off in terms of my holiday. Tomorrow I will be going back to work full time. So I definitely want to try and do at least a stream just to make sure that I can cover everything just before I start work again. Whether there's going to be a review video is pending, but I do want to try and get one done. The issue is that QPR Sheffield United may have to be excluded, honestly. But I am going to try and do my very best to make sure that all of you guys have got all the content there just before I start work again, which will be tomorrow. So, hope you guys are enjoying 2023. Let me know in the comments down below if you've actually got any New Year's resolutions as of yet. That will be a good topic to talk about today. And what are your thoughts of this game of Norwich and Watford? And would you have picked this game? Would you have picked me to stream potentially another game? I felt this game could potentially be a very interesting encounter, knowing that it's two teams under a lot of scrutiny at the moment in terms of their standards. So it could be a game where we could see a lot unravel. So I'm really hoping that we do get a decent game. Now, Sky, it doesn't actually start till 2:55. I've still got Rangers and Celtic being covered at the moment, so I'm kind of looking in because it was quite an entertaining 2-2 draw at Ibrox between Rangers and Celtic. But ultimately, I'm still going to be here presenting this game, previewing it, and we'll be looking at all the games as well. Let's see who's here. Penguin, welcome to the stream. Blue Terrier, thank you for the message. In fact, I'll actually pin that. Hashtag babyface. Got to get that trending. And Penguin's predicting 4-2 to Watford. That's an interesting prediction right there. I'm just noticing. So, in fact, my camera's so good, it's actually not glaring when I actually have to go on a white screen, which is fantastic. So, yeah, it's one of the few times I actually don't need the light to shine on my face. This is when the camera is actually going to be really good. So if you've not noticed by now, I have got a brand new camera. And for what I've seen, it's not turned people off. I will actually apologise for the audio in my predictions video. I tried using my camera audio, thinking that it was better than my main mic audio, and I'm basically not going to do that again. It was a very silly thing for me to do. But you live and you learn, and I will know not to do that moving forward. So, I think I've seen everyone here at the moment. Huddersfield were not good yesterday since Blue Terrier. It was, a pretty close scoreline, 2-1 to Luton, and Luton are in good form. But obviously, Huddersfield have got the expectation that they really need to try and survive this season, and they can't just write these games off, especially when they're at home. As soon as Hogg comes back injured, we will go places. Fair enough. It goes to show how important Hogg is within that team. Let's firstly cover the table on what we currently have. I'm aware Matt is also live. He's streaming Birmingham and Middlesbrough, I believe, which I think is an interesting choice for a game. So obviously we've got the top two just completely running away with it at the moment. Blackburn are back in third with a very important win. It's their first, look at that. They had those back-to-back defeats there, but now they're back into winning ways. They managed to pick up a 1-0 win over Cardiff. A very close game between Cardiff, but they did ultimately make the difference with a Bradley Dack goal. It sees them with having a 3-point gap from Mill, actually. And Mill, with a game in hand over Blackburn, are currently 4th place. Luton are in the top 6 for the first time this season on 39 points. And here are Sunderland still right up there as well. They managed to draw their last game against Blackpool. So in terms of teams just outside there, look at that. Watford with those back-to-back defeats. Watford, if they get a good result, they can return back into the top 6. But Norwich are also struggling as well. And it's actually impossible for both of them to be in the top 6 after this set of games. So anyone that picks up a positive result, they will return into the top 6. Middlesbrough have got a game to play today. Of course, as I said, against Birmingham, a win here could put them all the way back up to 4th, which will be a very interesting scenario for Middlesbrough to find themselves. In terms of goal difference, yeah, Middlesbrough would overtake Millwall as well. Coventry in around mid-table. They drew against Bristol City yesterday by 1 goal each. Reading are still yet to play, so Reading with a win could see them into the top 6 as well. Swansea on 35 points, they're still yet to play as well. They maybe not getting to the top 6, they'll need a lot to go their way, but they could definitely be within touching distance. QPR now falling down all the way to 14th, but they still have a game to play. QPR, they've got Sheffield United tonight. Preston, look at that, 1 win but 4 defeats in their last 5. It's not looking very promising for Ryan Lowe's team now. Birmingham not having the best of form. They've got to try and get a good result against Middlesbrough if they want to try and get back up into around that mid-table position. Bristol City, they managed to prevent defeat in their last 2 games, but they're still only on 30 points, which is a tie with Hull and Stoke. Cardiff not far behind that. And it's Rotherham, as I said in my predictions, which are what I thought was going to happen. Rotherham are now the team just above the bottom 3. Blackpool, with that draw, seemed like a missed opportunity for them to get 3 points. But it is only 1 point behind Rotherham, and Blackpool only just have a better goal difference as well. Look at that. They've managed to have 4 draws and only 1 defeat in 5, but that could be a missed opportunity for Blackpool. Huddersfield are not far away either. They're only 2 points off, and Wigan definitely are going to be the team struggling a little bit. But Wigan do have a game today. If they win this game, they won't get out of the bottom 3, I wouldn't think, based on their goal difference. But they would have a good chance to potentially close that gap. So let's actually look at Norwich and Watford to see what teams they've gone with. Norwich have gone for Gunn, Aarons, Hanley, Gibson, McCallum, Nunez, Gibbs, Sarah, Ida, Pukki and Sargent. Adam Ida actually managed to score Norwich's goal in their 1-1 draw with Reading. So interesting that he's actually starting this game now. With Watford, I'm going to be very intrigued to see what squad they've gone with. They need a big response with their very appalling defeat against Swansea. They've gone for Batman in goal, Cathcart, Sirialta, Cabaselli, Gasper, Leonardo Bacuna, James Morris, Ngakia, Kalu, Ismail Assar and Keenan Davis, which I think is a very interesting front two. On paper, that's a very good front two, but they need to deliver on it. Benches are also looking very, very strong from both teams as well. Let's quickly preview Swansea versus Burnley to see what we've got. I will be looking at chat in a minute, guys, so if I'm ignoring chats, it's not me intentionally. I'm just trying to get through everything. Benders in goal for Swansea. Lati Bodier manages to keep his place with Darling, Cabango and Manning. I think that's the same back four against Swansea, actually. Allen, Matt Grimes, Oliver Cooper, Jay Fulton, Ian Cummins and Joel Pearson. In fact, I think that might be an unchanged team to the one that played against Watford, actually. And for Burnley, you've got Muric, Matson, Bayer, Harwood, Bennis, Roberts, Cork, Cullen, Teller, Brownhill, Zarori and Jay Rodriguez. West Brom and Reading. West Brom have gone for Palmer, Furlong, O'Shea, Peters, Townsend, Malumbai, Yokusulu, who was a hero against Preston. Jed Wallace, John Swim, Matt Phillips and Dow DK in starting as a striker. For Reading, they've got Lumley, McIntyre, Dan, Yeardum, Loom, Guinness Walker, Hendrick, Ince, Junior Hoylett, Andy Carroll and Yaku Mate. Wigan versus Hull, a very crucial game for both teams actually. Wigan have got Jamie Jones, Nyambe, Watmore, Tilt, Bennett, Power, Cousins, Callum Lang, Wilking, James McLean and Ashley Fletcher in that team. Can I scroll down, please? That would be very nice. And for Hull, they've got Ingram, Greaves, Jones, McLaughlin, Christie, Seri, Doherty, Simonesh with Slater, Longman and Estupinan. Birmingham Middlesbrough, which is the game that Matt is watching. What teams is he going to be seeing? He's got Ruddy, Trusty, Bielik, Roberts, Bacuna, That's Junior Bakuna. Maxime Colan, Mabry, Jordan James, Jordan Gray, Tahith Chong, and Lucas Jukovic for Birmingham. And for Middlesbrough, you've got Stefan, Giles, Lenihan, Fry, Smith, Howson, Hackney, which I think is an interesting choice, McGree, Chubarat, Pom, the current top goal scorer in the league, Force, and Matt Crooks. And finally, Stoke and Preston. I was thinking either doing Watford, Norwich, or this game, but I decided to do Norwich and Watford in the end. For Stoke, you've got Bonham, Clark, Sutar, Wilmot, Fox, Baker, Thompson, Tyus Campbell, Smallbone, Josh Timon, and Jacob Brown. And for Preston, who really do need a win, is Freddie Woodman, Andy Hughes, Liam Lindsay, Bamboo Diaby, Daniel Johnson, Alistair McCann, Alan Brown, Ben Whiteman, Aaron Fernandez, Emil Rees-Jacobson, and Ched Evans. A pretty strong Preston team. So after previewing all of them, we've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to kick off. But the game ultimately we're going to look at is Norwich versus Watford. I can see... yeah, of course. I almost forgot. Yeah, Dean Smith is no longer Norwich manager, so they've gone for the caretaker manager. Let's see who's here. So we only got 3 viewers. So the chat is really not going live at the moment, but I'm hoping as the game goes on we could start getting a little bit more. Luton were also poor. They looked like they were at 20%, so you're saying they played in first gear. That could potentially be an option. I'll see if I can look at highlights at some time. Mill will get promoted, says Penguin. Hope we sell Sorba in January. Blue Terror wants Sorba to get out of the club. And David Wagner looks like he'll be the new Norwich manager. He is the favourite for what I know. But it's no confirmation that he will be the manager. But I know he's in a shortlist. I think, from what I heard, they had 4 options. And Wagner was the favourite. It'll be interesting to see him back in the Championship. But maybe a missed opportunity for Huddersfield when he was available. You know, I think when Corberán left, Wagner was available. And, you know, he definitely would have been a sentimental appointment. But you knew how much he managed to make Huddersfield tick and work with limited resources. But if he does go to Norwich, it's a big opportunity for him. Right, both teams have taken a knee. It is nearly time for kickoff. Literally, it only started 5 minutes ago, this programme, and it's already kicked off. So, Norwich-Watford has just kicked off. I'm going to quickly see that all my predictions for every single viewer has been saved, and then I can relax and we can watch what will hopefully be a good game of football. Watford have gone for like their Udinese colours, which makes me feel like I'm actually watching Udinese rather than Watford there, so I've got mixed feelings about their away kit there. Okay, so someone's not done their predictions right at the start. Just need to make a note of that. This is like so many things that I do have to do before I even stream properly, which is to check that everyone's done their predictions at a good time. But I have managed to sort that out, I think. And he's done that properly. Oh, come on. Turned off my phone by accident. Doing it again. And I think that's everyone's comments caught up, actually. Yeah, right. Okay, I've got everyone's predictions now. So we can relax. Norwich currently have the ball at the moment. Sarah with an interesting pass, but it doesn't quite... Oh, that's a good tackle by McCallum there. Oh, okay. What I'm hoping that it's going to be this intense throughout the whole game. We have already seen Watford try and win the ball back, but Norwich running after the ball when they lose it, which is encouraging. It's already giving me a lot more energy from what I've seen from this Watford and this Norwich team actually in their last couple of games. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm just hoping for 2 teams who are up for this. And they really, both teams actually have got a point to prove in a big, big way. Norwich still with no manager. Watford with 2 defeats in a row and one very embarrassing defeat in their last one with a 4-0 defeat against Swansea. They definitely have got both teams a point to prove. Got a sneeze coming, by the way, so must warn you. Rose for Life, welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. Harry Plays, welcome to the stream also. It's good to see some recognisable names going into the stream. How are all of you in 2023? Norwich with an interesting cross-eyed Josh Sargent. He goes down into the box. No penalty's going to be given there. Grant Huntley's quite high up the pitch. Here's Max Aarons into the penalty box with an interesting cross. Headed by Ida. A bit of deflections there, but it's cleared away. No Gatsby, no party. Well, you'll be very pleased to know Gatsby is in fact here. But because we're on to attack at the moment, I'm just making sure I don't miss a second of it. This game has definitely got a fierce start to it, so cannot afford to miss a single second. So Sargent does go down with Bakuna, causing the supposed foul, but I do think it was a bit soft. And that will be a free kick to Norwich in the left-hand side. And already a yellow card, 3 minutes in. Right. Got to be a bit careful. It was Jeremy Ngakia who conceded that foul. So it was a throw from McCallum, and it was actually good play between Sargent and not Ngakia. He conceded the foul, but good play between him and McCallum. And Jeremy Ngakia has already got a yellow card for Watford in the 3rd minute. I'm new to this YouTube. My cousin showed me this YouTube channel. Oh, amazing! Who was the one with a great taste to show you this channel? Rose for Life. It's always good to see newer viewers here. It's absolutely amazing. Everyone, do give Rose for Life, by the way, a warm welcome. Free kicks taken. Batman punches it away, just about outside the box. It is Max Aarons in outside of the penalty box now, trying to hook in a delivery. He's got good competition against Bakuna. He manages to get a successful cross. Sargent, oh, not enough connection from Adamida. It's cleared. Now here come Watford. Can they charge ahead? Here's Keenan Davis. No, it looks like Ariel Sara's making it difficult, although he managed to keep the ball there. And it's great defending, actually, by Timo Pukki. One's a Grommet fan. Welcome to the stream. Are these games on Sky? Says ask Rovers for Life. They are. In fact, this game is the main game being shown on Sky. But you can... if you've got the red button on your Sky remote as well, the red button, you can watch all the other 3 o'clock kickoffs as well. I'm not sure if QPR Sheffield United's live. I need to look into that. I would hope it would be, with it being a late kickoff. But this game is live, so I'm taking advantage of that. And I'm aware that it's already getting a little bit dark, so I might have to get a light on in a minute. Hopefully that it won't affect the background. But at this moment of time, the background's all right. I'm just making do with it at the moment. And I'm watching for what looks to be a very fast-paced game at the moment. It's got a good tempo to it. Max Aarons, but great defending actually by Watford there. Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. Watford now into the attack. Keenan Davis against Grant Hanley. You wouldn't want that. Keenan Davis, good save by Angus Gunn. It's not the best bit of one-on-one defending between Grant Hanley and Keenan Davis. Keenan Davis definitely getting advantage of him. Sam McCallum doesn't really do too much as well to assist. In fact, maybe Ben Gibson actually rather than Hanley. No, it was Ben Gibson, not Grant Hanley, who really gave Keenan Davis way too much space there. So, I think it was, or was it Lewis Gibson? I think I always get the Gibsons confused. But yeah, it's Gibson for Norwich who gives... it is Ben Gibson, I was going to say. Corner comes in, headed away by Sarah. Here's Mario Gaspar, who I'm surprised is at Watford at the moment. But it's not the best across this. It's headed away straight to Timo Pukki, actually. But it's good defending. Ngakia manages to read the loose ball very, very well. Bakuna gains some control. And here is Morris now. Not seen a lot of Jace Morris. Here's Ismail Assar playing a little bit of a deeper role. Long hooked ball coming in to find Jeremy Ngakia free in space. Sargent closing him down. Here's Cabaselli now. Ngakia will keep the ball in play. Good cross, but headed away by Gibson. Redeems himself a little bit here. And, oh, that's good defending by McCallum, actually. But Ngakia manages to win the loose ball. And great tackle by McCallum. And Watford win a corner. That question is not quite relevant to me, Blue Terrace, since I don't have one. Oh, well, I recognise him. That's Stuart Webber. Yeah, Stuart Webber, sporting director for Norwich. So he will be definitely keeping an eye on Norwich's current performances recently. definitely has been a major concern. In fact, both teams, as I've said, arguably the two favourites to go up straight back to the Premier League, and currently they are both outside of the top six and both need to really get a grip with their forms and performances. That's a free kick to Norwich. Stuart Webber brought David Wangler to Huddersfield. Well, that's very interesting you say that then. Okay, there's Josh Sargent, all by himself a little bit. And it's good defending actually. Here's Ismail Assar, who's got about 3 Norwich players to try and get past. And he doesn't do too badly of a job. In fact, he wins a free kick over Max Aarons. Kabasele does stay down because he did obstruct Josh Sargent's attack. He may have been winded from that. Let's see this. So Sargent charges in. He just kind of bashes into Kabasele. No, Ethan, I don't. Blue Terrier's just spreading rumours. Absolutely not true at all. Very, very false, as a wise man once said. Need to turn my phone off when I'm doing this. Right. Good one. Okay, so I guess now's a really good time to actually check how the other games are unravelling and taking place. There has been no other goals in the Championship, but to remind you what else is taking place, Stoke are playing Preston, Birmingham are playing Middlesbrough, Wigan are playing Hull, West Brom are playing Reading, Swansea are playing Burnley, and of course the one we're watching, Norwich are playing Watford. We will be keeping a very, very close eye in all of these games as well, just to make sure we don't miss any big action. I'm just checking what else is taking place as well. There are League One matches as well, including Ipswich, which I'll be keeping an eye on. So Ipswich are playing against Lincoln at the moment, which they'll want to get revenge after Lincoln beat Ipswich at Portman Road. This could be a chance for Keenan Davis, good defending by Gibson, a bit of deflections, and gun collects. Derby County have already taken the lead against Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley in the bottom 4. Tom Barcusen scores for Derby, former Preston player. And this goal for Derby puts them in 4th place. Oh, this is not good for Ipswich. They're currently 3rd. That must mean Sheffield Wednesday must have scored very recently. And they have against... Oh, they want something to take place there. No penalty will be given to Watford there. Looks like a lot of players are down off injured here at the moment. So, yeah, it's very recent. In fact, I don't know who scored for Sheffield Wednesday, but this is definitely going to put some pressure on Ipswich. They definitely need a result. Cambridge struggling with their form a little bit. In fact, I think Cambridge actually got a positive result against Sheffield Wednesday last time. And for what I know, there's no Premier League matches. The only Premier League game taking place today is Brentford-Liverpool, taking place at 5:30 today. So we have got a lot on, but it all been spread out into different times. Right, I'm just going to see if I can try and catch on in chat because my Streamlabs is not working on it at the moment. Hang on a minute, guys. It's not actually updating. What is going on with this? So Leandro Bacuna has gone down. I don't think Charlie's here, Ethan, so I don't think we can kind of really get into that investigation at the moment. Blue Tail wants a new owner, understandably, really, with how things have been run at the moment. It's very clumsy by Ben Gibson there, who connects with Keenan Davis. Very, very clumsy there. So we've got a small break in play. And in fact, having said that, we have got a goal to talk about. I've just saw it on SofaScore. It's gone to Burnley. Top of the league, Burnley have already scored against Swansea. Ian Matson with his 3rd goal of the season, I think. And that puts Burnley currently, this needs to be updated, but they'll put Burnley on 56 points. Not only have they got a 14-point gap from 3rd place Blackburn, but they'll have a 6-point gap currently with Sheffield United. But Sheffield United do also play tonight later on against QPR, where they themselves could close the gap right back down again. Norwich now on the attack. Max Aarons. Interesting attack going on here. It's Nunez. Cross comes in. And Cathcart manages to defend it, number 15. And that's a throw-in to Norwich. A quick throw-in taking place there. Max Aarons is going to collect it. Burnley have already won the league already. Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it? I can't remember where I predicted Burnley, but I definitely predicted Burnley at least in top 6, which was better than some other predictors who thought that Burnley were going to really underperform. Did I remember that? I can't remember which team Matt thought was going to underperform. He thought Burnley would, but I thought Watford would, and it's turning out that I'm a little bit right with that at the moment. He even predicted them in 6th. I had West Brom 6th, and I remember that specifically. Maybe I put Burnley 5th, which is not really an achievement, really. Sarr of the corner for Norwich. Nunez picks up the loose ball, but really, really good pressing, actually, from Bakuna, actually. And it's offside. And even though West Brom 5th, okay, so we had similar predictions in around the top 4. No goals currently in this game, but at this moment, we are seeing a good tempo with both teams here. I would be very surprised if it ends 0-0. The only way it will end 0-0 is if the intensity for both teams gets too much for both of them, that they cannot quite get enough quality to create the chances. But I could definitely see with their build-up that the quality is there. They just now need to execute that and to create some chances out of it. It does feel a bit like a chess game, this game, really. Now, here's Ngakia. Tries to find Kalu there. But it's good defending. Still no other goals in the Championship for me to report with. Oh, Keenan Davis goes for goal. Oh, not far away, just wide of the post. Did look like a good position. So it's Gibson and McCallum trying to play out for the back. They lose it. And it's well fought back. And it's not particularly far away from Keenan Davis there. He's got the height right, but he can't quite angle the shot right. Norwich now still playing out from the back. So they're going to be quite careful with that. Watford are definitely trying to capitalise on that. The clearance from Gunn is not the best because it's gone straight to a Watford player here. And now Watford come playing out from the back now. Daniel Batman looking a lot more confident with it. Here's Craig Cathcart. We've got Mario Gaspar playing in quite a central position, really, for what I'm used to seeing with him. He's more of an attacking wing-back than a transitioning full-back to a midfielder. Here's Ngakia. Here's Kalu. We've not seen too much of Kalu, but I definitely want to see more. I'm always really excited to see some players that I've not really seen too much of. Ooh, okay, interesting build-up there from Watford. Can Keenan Davis could get past Ben Gibson here. And square ball comes in. Sarr, good block by Sam McCallum. Here come Watford again, Leonardo Bakuna. Cross comes in. Booted away by Gibson. Ngakia gets past Adam Ida. Good pressing by Max Aarons to win the ball back in it. Here come Norwich. Oh, it hits the head. Oh, and I think it's a throw-in to Norwich. That was a very crucial block by Sam McCallum there. So let's see that again. That's great build-up, actually. Keenan Davis just gets the better out of Ben Gibson, who's been having quite a shaky game at the moment. Square ball is pretty much as good as you want it to be as well. And the cross comes in, and we nearly missed it. But it was going for goal. But Daniel Batman catches it. Ngakia. Here's Kalu against Nunez, and Kalu wins a free kick. Second yellow card is awarded. It's the first one to a Norwich City player, Sam McCallum. So let's see this again. So it's good, confident play, actually. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a crunchy tackle by Sam McCallum there. Lewis Gibbs just loses out the midfield battle there. There's a second goal, actually, in the Championship. It's another away goal, but this time in the way of Hull City. This is a must-win game for Wigan if they want to survive, but Jacob Greaves has currently taken the lead. Simon Dinesh has got the assist for this goal. This takes Hull currently on 33 points, which puts Hull actually in 17th place. This leaves Wigan on 24 points and still 3 points of safety, but this is a big opportunity for Wigan to potentially close the gap between relegation and survival, and they're not taking that chance at the moment. Kasuma Rose should never have been taken off yesterday, said Blue Terrier. Well, I assume that Rhodes is still planning on potentially getting a move away with his contract soon going, and with the links that he's got. Don't know if that might have something to do with it, but I need to know about Kasumu though, because Kasumu, I know how important he was in that MK Dons team and how much they're suffering without him. But yeah, for Huddersfield, it's not really had that same effect, hasn't he? Here's Sam McCallum standing on the left-hand side with the throw-in. Throw-in comes in. Kalu manages to win the ball back. Here's Jamie Ngakia. An interesting delivery, trying to find Keenan Davis, but Grant Hanley sniffs the danger, and he concedes a throw-in for Watford. Ngakia is going to take the throw-in. I've got to say, Norwich started quite well, but in the past 15 minutes, Watford have taken over a bit. Here's Kalu again. He's had a very positive game. He's up against Lewis Gibbs. He does well. Ngakia with a cross, heading towards goal. It's bouncing wide, and Angus Gunn manages to reassure Norwich that things are not going to go wrong here. So it's been a really positive performance so far by Kalu. I'm really been impressed with him. Ngakia with the cross. Sarr with a very tame header, and it bounces just wide, but Gunn still collects it. Norwich now trying to lead out an attack, but it's not working well. They lose out very easily there. Here's Keenan Davis, who could square it. He's very unselfish, and he loses out in the penalty box, and Norwich clear. Now here come Norwich. Adam Ida. And the ball's not good enough to find Pookie. It's a throw into Watford. Rose looks to be staying, but Ward seems to be on his way out. Okay, I don't know what's been his U-turn for his decision there. If so, it'll be... I don't know. I don't know if either like Ward or Rhodes, either one of them leaving is going to help or not. But ultimately, with Huddersfield being in the position that they're in, they really don't want anyone to be going really at this time. Gasper, he's now passing the ball down to Ngakia. Another cross, not cleared. Shot just wide. And I think that was Kalu again, actually, with the chance going in. Oh, this is very sad. Martina Navratilova diagnosed with throat and breast cancer. A very legendary personality in the tennis world. That's really sad. So with shots, I don't think Norwich have had any, and Watford have had 5. Watford have had 1 shot on target though. So despite Watford having some chances, they're not being particularly clinical at the moment. We've got a second goal at the Swansea.com stadium. It's just coming with Wallace and Grant fans' comment. But yeah, Burnley have indeed scored 2. I think I predicted 2-0 Burnley actually. It's Ian Matson again with the scoring. Nathan Teller this time with the assist. It's not a good start for Swansea, which things are going completely backwards to where they had in their last game. An emphatic 4-0 win over Watford, and they're following that up currently with a 2-0 well, they're losing 2-0 to Burnley, so it's not ideal. But for Burnley's case, look at them. They're on 56 and 6 points clear of second place. And they're 14 points clear of the top 6. So Sorba's playing like he's acting like he's bigger than the club. Well, that's a shame that if his ego has kind of taken away from his performance. Norwich again on the attack, but Watford are defending very well. And Norwich look a little bit shaken, to be honest. They don't look as confident. Here's Adamada, though, in the right-hand side. He's got Cathcart to contend with. He does quite well. The ball's kept into play. It's booted away. And Aaron's just going to let it go out for a throw-in. This is a very important time for both teams to try and get a response. I've definitely seen a better start from Watford at the moment. Here's Timo Pukki against Bakuna. Does well. Here's Nunez. Here's Gabriel Sara, number 17. Trying to ride a couple of challenges there. Mario Gasper now pressing now. Here's Grant Hanley on the ball. Passing it to Max Adams. Back to Hanley now. The press of Watford is definitely affecting the way that they're playing. Here's Gibbs. And it's a free kick, Norwich. Quite centrally, a bit far away from goal, so I don't really see a shot coming from this free kick, but could potentially be a good set-piece situation here. So it was good build-up play between Gibbs and Sargent. It is definitely a foul, unfortunately, for Watford there. So a good free kick situation potentially for Norwich if they can actually create anything out of it. I think I've not done too bad jobs with names today, actually. I think it was Cabaselli who conceded a foul there. And it's going to be a free kick to Norwich. I say a good 35 yards out, so I don't see a shot coming out of this. Nunez passes it to the right. Gibbs with the cross. Oh! Chance! Oh my God, what a chance! Grant Hanley could have had a stronger connection there. Oh, had the flag gone up? I don't know if it did. But that was a gorgeous ball by Lewis Gibbs. So, Nunez takes a free kick. Gibbs on the right hand side. Oh, Hanley would have been offside anyway if he did get a touch. I don't think he actually touched any Norwich player, to be honest. Cool. In that angle, he doesn't look offside. But, yeah, Gibson potentially could have done better there as well. Doesn't quite get to the ball quick enough there. But Watford do physically defend that quite well, actually. That was a huge chance. It was like the first big moment of quality from Norwich that they could have potentially capitalised on. Here's Ngakia now for Watford in the right hand side. Going a bit centrally there. Here's Kalu with an interesting square pass there. Doesn't quite work. Josh Sargent manhandled a little bit. And it is a free kick to Norwich. Yeah, they've got to be very, very careful. Sargent's definitely getting clambered down a little bit with the amount of challenges he's been receiving at the moment. Okay, we've got a third goal actually at the Swansea.com stadium. Very quiet viewership at the moment, but it is a Swansea goal. I don't know who scored it, so I've caught it very quickly to the point I actually don't know who scored for Swansea. But that makes things very interesting. Now, I was going to check to see what I posted as my prediction on Ben's channel, but I wasn't able to find it. I predicted 2-0 Burnley, so I'm already wrong, but I could get 1 point out of it, which would be not too bad. I think I got one game spot on, which actually was Millwall Rotherham, so I'm very surprised I managed to get that. Kalu is down, which is not good for Watford fans. He could be going off the pitch very, very soon. The camera is panning to the Watford bench. Potentially we will see a replacement here. That's not good because Kalu, for me, was one of, if not Watford's best player at the moment. So actually, the red button is only showing 2 games. Stoke Preston, West Brom Reading. In fact, no, it is also showing Birmingham Middlesbrough. It's showing all 3 o'clock games, as I said. They had a message in the middle for some weird reason. But yeah, all the 3 o'clock games are also on the red button. So if you don't want to watch Norwich and Watford and you've got Sky, you can have the power to watch all the other 3 o'clock Championship games by going to the red button. So it looks like Kalu is going off the pitch, which is a shame because he was really, really bright with his start. I think, if I like to say, I'm just trying to see who that is. That could have been Issof Bayo, who's going to go on to replace Kalu. But it's not an ideal situation for Watford to find themselves with one of their most creative players going off the pitch already. I think they're going to announce a substitute as soon as this ball gets kicked off the pitch. So, Norwich have now got a man advantage for now with this one attack here. Gibson, who's started to run on the left-hand side, going to pass it to Sargent, back to him. McCallum defended pretty well by Ngakia, actually. Bit of frustration going around in Norwich at the moment because Watford are standing firm and being very, very physical. Right, so the substitute is taking place and it is Vakun Bayo who is going on the pitch and he is replacing, as I said, Samuel Kalu. So Vakun Bayo is on the pitch and he will be replacing Samuel Kalu. That's the first substitution of this game so far. It's Grant Hanley now on the ball for Norwich. Passing it down to the right-hand side. And now in the possession of Angus Gunn. Here's Max Aarons passing it down to Grant Hanley. Good defending actually by Bakuna. Aarons, and it's one back here. Vakun Bayo wanting a free kick, but he's not getting it. Oh, that's a long, good ball there, but it's well defended by Sirialta. Great cover there and great defending. Clever defending as well. Didn't need to use the challenge, just used his shoulder and managed to scurry the ball away out of danger there. Really clever defending there. But it is a throw to Norwich. Norwich are pushing. They're not really pushing with chances, but they're at least pushing their possession down to the pitch. It's not as pressured as it was when Watford were knocking on the door a little bit. It is still 0-0 with this game. And there's not been many goals in the Championship actually around this time actually. We've had 3 goals in the Swansea.com Stadium with it being 2-1 Burnley. We've also seen Hull score. I think Greaves scoring that one to make it 1-0 Hull. But that's really been it. His team are boogie in the box, squares it, and it's defended away by Cabaselli. Here is Max Aarons now. Sargent, it's too high for him. He can't quite get enough of a connection there. Here's Keenan Davis against McCallum. And Sargent's trying to defend it as well. But he does very well there, actually. And I think that no free kick's been given there. I'm a bit surprised about that. I thought it was going to be a free kick to Watford there. But great work rate by Josh Sargent. You know, looking like he was trying to score. And then he tracks back trying to defend Watford's attack there. So I can't fault the work rate of Josh Sargent at the moment. Just obviously the only bad thing about it is that they've still not been able to get a goal yet. Ball goes in. Ida, okay. I thought Backman could collect that, but Sirialta's taking no chances. Boots the ball away. And so throwing it to Norwich. Oh, I've got to say, Linger's got to be very careful there with that follow-up challenge there. So I didn't even really see that. So the referee saw straight at it. Cool. That was very, very strong of a challenge by Lewis Gibbs there. Drawing against Bristol City. Yeah, 2 winnable games for Coventry, Darraj, and yeah, 2 draws. It is frustrating. I do understand that, of course. It's just obviously now after that, you've got very tough games coming around as well. So it's now just making sure that you don't let go of your form way too much, because this is a very crucial time to the season. Potentially fatigue could have a big part of it, but you've also remember that every team's going to have that, really. So it's then down to the quality of your depth and how they maintain that fitness level. And I don't think Coventry have done particularly well with that. Wrexham is tough. Yeah, no, Wrexham will be up for it as well. And it just depends on Coventry fans of what's their expectation with an FA Cup run, to be honest. Do they see their league form as a bigger priority than a cup run? You know, that's the major questions to be answered. Max Aarons on the right hand side. He's going to pass it to Nunez. I've really been enjoying seeing Norwich again. I've not watched Norwich properly doing the Watchalong for quite some time. I saw Norwich when they lost against Blackburn, but I didn't actually do a Watchalong for Norwich for quite a while. And it's been a very physical game. Ngakia probably should have conceded a free kick there, but the referee's not given it. Norwich fans looking very frustrated with that decision there. And I can hear it in the fans as well. Well, Burnley will be tough. Norwich, you feel at the moment, you know, this is a good time just to kind of assess to see where Norwich are at. And I guess it just depends if it's away or at home as well. I mean, you would imagine that Coventry at home would be better equipped, but it's really just down how they cope with the fatigue. But one thing I will point out, actually, there is going to be a small break in terms of league games. Obviously, it's not particularly ideal in between that. It's an FA Cup weekend, but either way, it's going to be a small break from league form, and potentially, if you want to assess your Chelsea the FA Cup or not, it could be a good time to get some players recovered. Oh, it is a CBS. Oh, I think that'll be interesting though. I don't think it'll be particularly one-sided. It'll be tough, but it's not impossible for Coventry to not get something there. Good running by Ademaida there to win the corner for Norwich with 34.5 minutes in. Still no goals. To be fair, as I did mention not too long ago, there have not been many goals as a whole for the Championship this weekend. No goals between Birmingham and Middlesbrough, which is the game that Matt's watching. Hull are still 1-0 up against Wigan. And we've had the 3 goals of the the Swansea.com Stadium, with Burnley going 2-1 up. RS, welcome to the stream. He's asked who I support. So, cross comes in. Chance, goal! We've got a goal! And it's always no, flags up, offside. It will not stand. I thought we had a breakthrough. Hanley has a header that goes in the back of the net, but it is offside. Let's see this again. Is it a good decision? Yes, it's a very clear decision. I can't believe I didn't even see it. Very clear offside by Grant Hanley. It's a good header, but it's not going to count. Norwich have a goal that's been ruled out to offside, and it is the correct decision. So, to answer RS's question before I was interrupted by a fake goal, I support Chelsea as my Premier League club. My parents have supported Chelsea, and it goes quite far back in our history, at least. But I'm an Essex lad as well, so I always look at to see how the Essex teams are performing as well. Colchester being a team I keep a close eye on, where they've actually improved their form, which is a relief to Colchester fans, as they're the only Essex team left in the whole Football League pyramid, at least in the top 92 teams in England. And with my local team, I look at them as well. I look at Chelmsford as well, which we've just done. Well, we nearly did a Essex double over Braintree, but we conceded an equalising goal to end 2-2. But chance for Max Aaron's shot, and it's wide. That's a shame for his part. That was not a bad effort by Max Aaron's there. So yeah, I look at the Essex teams, and for Premier League teams, I also look at Chelsea. Another team I look at is Ipswich too, because I do my work in Ipswich and I know a lot of Ipswich fans. So those are the teams that I do technically support. It gets a problem when I have to play against each other and I have to pick which one to support. Like for instance, this year Ipswich played Colchester in the Carabao Cup first round. I was Colchester all the way in that one because I only just started working Ipswich, and it turned out that Colchester did get a good result, although I was in the Ipswich end, so I had to keep myself very, very quiet when Colchester managed to get that lucky goal, and it was a lucky goal because there was a mistake by Raheem Harper, which allowed, I believe it was Hannett who scored the goal. Mizu, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hello. Got a question. Since Sunderland only have Stewart as a striker now, who else would you bring in? I reckon maybe two more. I think you can. What is important to remember is the versatility of your forward line. We've seen it before where we have seen Embleton play up there. It's also important to know that we've seen Pritchard ability to play out there as well. And we've even seen Patrick Roberts play out there previously as well when, we've had to fill, or Sutherland at least, have had to fill in a striker option. So I would say definitely getting one player in would cover up the loss of Ellis Sims. But I don't think, I think it's also important not to get too many high-profile players in. It gets very, very tricky, therefore, to try and please everyone and to get everyone fresh for the game time as well. And some of them do play in quite a unique way as well. So, understandably, Mowbray will be quite reluctant to let anyone that he's not really worked with come in, especially with the system that he's playing. But, Mowbray has played in and managed in quite a lot of clubs. Header! Oh, this was a good chance by Watford there. Ngakio with the cross. Ismail Assar with the header just wide of the post. So, I think one would be good to cover Ellis Sims, whether it's a loan deal or a permanent signing. I think permanent signing would be better, but understandably, a loan deal would probably be the most financially achievable option there. But yeah, definitely I feel at least one striker coming in will be good to cover Sims. How bad was the injury to Kalu? Good question, actually. So, he was on the ground, and I think it was a hamstring problem. It was a collision between two players. He was down, and I don't think it's too bad. I mean, we didn't need a stretcher out or anything, but he definitely wasn't fit to continue. So, I would estimate he could be out by a week or two, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term injury unless he's pulled something really, really badly. Pritchard, yeah, he is injured. Yeah, that is true. So, understandable because I was talking about Embleton as well, and Embleton's not necessarily the most reliable player when it comes to fitness as well. But yeah, Amad Diallo, you're right as well, and he scored very recently, obviously, against Wigan Athletic as well. So, he definitely is also a good option too. So, it's very important knowing that despite maybe having a recognised striker being short in your ranks, you've got so many versatile forward players that they can switch positions very effectively as well. So that I think is also a really good strength for Sutherland, and I think that's what all teams should strive for. Having players that can change positions and can still play as good of a job there. It's a very loose comparison, but I'll put Manchester United down with Luke Shaw, for instance. We typically would put him down as a fullback. He's recently played centre-back recently due to Martinez and Maguire not being available. And Shaw has actually transitioned, surprisingly, very well as a centre-back. So it's not only just strikers or forward players that may need to change positions and be versatile. It's defenders as well. And when you've got that cover and you've got that depth of reassurance, it lifts the squad up that it's got enough resources there. And I think it's just also very, very important to have that cover. It's good teamwork, but it's good squad building as well when you've got these players who can fill in a good number of positions as well. Versatile players really do appear like gold dust in modern football. So when you have them, it's always very important to utilise them to the best of your ability, really. Brentford wouldn't underestimate Liverpool, says Darraj. I don't think so. Yeah, I agree with that. Foul by Nunez there, and a free kick to Watford. We're in the 41st minute, 4 minutes before half-time. We'll be doing a Q&A going into half-time as well, where we'll also be looking at what's been going on in the other games as well, because League One games are also taking place as well. We've got one Premier League game tonight, which is Brentford versus Liverpool, as it has been mentioned. A 5:30 kickoff as well, which will be very, very interesting timing as well. There's been no other goals in the Championship, but just in case, anyone's just joined. Birmingham Middlesbrough still 0-0. Wigan and Hull. Hull scored first, and that came from Jacob Greaves. I think I predicted a 1-1 draw, so that could still happen. West Brom Reading still 0-0 in that game, so Reading doing well to keep a draw currently. Swansea Burnley, definitely the game that's gone a little bit more into life at the moment. Ian with a double, and it was Oliver Cooper actually that got the consolation goal potentially for Swansea, but definitely not game over. Ooh, so we've got a technical director, Ben Manga, for Watford here as well. So some very important senior representatives from both teams to see how they're going to compete against these teams. Obviously, Norwich, Watford still 0-0, and Preston and Stoke also still 0-0 as it stands. And looking at the time here, Stoke and Preston have had a delayed kickoff by 15 minutes. I'll be very interested to find out why Stoke and Preston was delayed, but there has been a delayed kickoff there. So that's something to keep in mind if I do end the stream a bit early there. Bolton have just scored a quick double against Barnsley. So as Dion Charles on the penalty spot scoring the first goal. I don't know what's happened to the second goal, but I'll look back into that. Lincoln and Ipswich is still 0-0, so Ipswich have done a better job against Lincoln already, managing to keep it 0-0 at this time, and Barnsley down to 10 men as well. Not ideal. Sheffield Wednesday are now 2-0 up against Cambridge. Great result for them currently, and Derby currently beating Accrington Stanley. Conor Hurahan getting the only goal there. That means Ipswich currently third, and they will be 2 points off Sheffield Wednesday. That's not the best thing that they could ask for at the moment. Grant Hanley looks like he's just conceded a free kick, and he's going to get a yellow card for this action as well. Thanks to everyone watching, by the way. I've not really promoted my channel that much. In fact, I'm actually going to start putting on a light because it's already looking a little bit too dark for my liking. This is the problem when you're still in winter. It gets dark very, very quickly, but I will sort this out, guys, to the best that I can. Doesn't need to be too light, but just enough for it to be visible, if that makes sense. So that should make things a little bit better. In fact, that already looks much better, actually. So, brilliant. Right. Let's see this free kick out at the moment, and then we can start promoting the channel. Need a good refreshment after the amount of talking that I've been able to do throughout this game. It's been a really good back and forth game, really. So, definitely have been spoiled for how good a game this has been. 7 minutes of added time as well, because also we had the injury to Kalu. We've also had a couple of players going down as well with challenges. Good pressing, actually, by Lewis Gibbs here. But unfortunately, he's not gone too far with it. He's already passed the ball back. Right. I need to see if I can move the light to a position where I can actually still see the TV. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Here's Sam McCallum. Oh, okay. Someone's down on the floor. Now this could be a chance for Adamada to take advantage of that. Headed away, kind of, just inside the box still. Josh Sargent still winning the ball back. McCallum, that's a good block by Mario Gasper there. Who's the better team? I'd definitely say for 5 minutes it was Norwich. Then Watford had a 15-minute spell, and then for the last 15 of this half, it was Norwich. But having said that, here's Keenan Davis for Watford, going on a solo run. He's done very well with that. Here's Issof Bio here. Here's Morris. Good defending and a good block by Grant Hanley. Now that I say that, Watford now are looking the team more likely to score. That was a really blistering attack started off by Keenan Davis there. He's done a really good job. We can definitely look at some stats to determine who's the better team statistically, but looking at this game, it's been really close. Both teams have had good moments, and that's what I really like. Oh, that's a gorgeous ball, but it's a bye. Why have you stopped? That was a gorgeous ball. You should have kept on running. Oh, that was the best pass of the game so far. Isabio, you need to keep running there. God, that bit of hesitation killed the attack there. My goodness me, he made a great run, but then he stopped. He didn't have the confidence to get past Max Aarons, and then he tries to draw a foul. I want to see who made the pass. That could have been Bakuna who made that pass. It was absolutely gorgeous, and Bio obviously is very frustrated with that. Had he carried on that run, I think he could have outpaced Max Aarons, and he would have had a really good one-on-one chance at goal there. Long goal kick coming in from Angus Gunn, headed away by Serialta, although it is won back by Lewis Gibbs in the midfield. That's a good ball to find Josh Sargent. It's kind of cleared here, and free kick won by Watford, and Norwich. I'm not happy about that. I was talking about Swansea because it's just popped up on the thing that something's happened. Joanna's got a foul. I know Swansea scored to make it 2-1, but I don't see it being 2-2, Darraj. Because I've kept the scores with notifications on currently. Ipswich have not scored either. Yeah, still currently 2-1 Swansea at the moment. I did talk about Swansea's Oliver Cooper goal. It's a Bio, headed away by Hanley. Gasper was a foul there, but it's not been given. And it will be a throw-in to Watford. Bit back and forth this game, with 3 minutes of the 7 minutes of added time have been played. So we've still got a tiny bit of time before it goes into half-time, and a lot to break down with his half-time at the moment. God, Lincoln really need to score. Ipswich, sorry. Really need to score. Although having said that, something's just happened. Lincoln have gone down to 10 men now. Adam Jackson with a red card. Could that be a penalty, Ipswich? But regardless, that is a half and a bit of football for Ipswich having a man advantage, and that could be quite important. Now Watford have got a free kick in a good area. It was Ismail Assar drawing the foul, and it was Max Aarons conceding it. 4.5 minutes of the added time being done. We've got 2.5 minutes more of it before half time. Looks like it will still be 0-0 half time, but I am tempted to say that I really don't think this game will end 0-0. I'll be very surprised if it does. Oh, I got blocked nose suddenly. So, free kick being delivered by Gasper there. Oh, that's not a terrible delivery, but Serialta's not quick enough to receive that. Oh, potentially some words being dished out there. Okay then. Cabaselli not happy with McCallum. I mean, the size difference tells you that Cabaselli shouldn't have been fouled to the floor by McCallum. Have you seen the size of Cabaselli? So he's just grappling him. I mean, nah, that's all right. Oh, he's just like hugging on to him there. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, definitely some antics going on with McCallum there, but I don't think Cabaselli should go down that easily there. I think he's calling the free kick back, actually, which is something you don't see too often. Right. So, Norwich can now have their goal kick. It looks like things have been settled between McCallum and Cabaselli, but that could be another battle that we could be seeing in the second half, potentially. I would hope so. Headed away by Cabaselli. Throwing Norwich. They've got about half a minute to see if they can get something before half-time. Josh Sargent. He rescues his loose ball there. Gibbs, although he passes it to Ismail Assar. And here's Morris, who could latch on to that. He does. He's got Max Aarons to beat. Cross comes in, and it's a cross shot, and Angus Gunn catches it. This is the thing. You know, one small mistake from one team, and then the other team go that far up the pitch to potentially create something there. Okay, so around 2 seconds too early. The referee has blown for half-time for Norwich versus Watford. Not too many chances, like one decent save made by Agnes Gunn following a shot very early on in the game, actually, and that was potentially the closest chance that anyone got to scoring. Particularly poor defending on the part of Ben Gibson to concede that chance. But yeah, that shot which was saved by Gunn was really like the only major chance in that game, unfortunately, at the moment. It's been a good contest. Don't get me wrong, it's been a very good contest. But we've only really seen one save being made. So I'm hoping that we can get a little bit more competitiveness when it comes to creating chances within the second half. I think both teams have especially come in quite organised, and I think especially Watford, they've been very physical and tough to break down. I know Norwich are low in confidence in the moment, but they are definitely really struggling to create anything with the physical players that Watford have and how switched on they've been throughout the game. And what's been mindful is that definitely Watford have got options. They've got very pacey options as well that can run at people. And Keenan Davis, with that early chance, definitely made, I think, Norwich feel a little bit more nervy than what they needed to be. Ben Gibson not particularly defending very well in that situation as well. But yeah, Davis with that shot was really the only chance of that whole game. A bit of a blow for Watford. It was Kalu going off the pitch due to an injury. I don't know the severity of it. It looks like a hamstring injury based on what he found in pain. Issouf Bio is on the pitch replacing him, and he's had moments like I've talked about. Had he run further, potentially could have had a one-on-one situation. There's definitely a confidence issue with both teams, if that makes sense. And I think for Watford, it's their forward line with some certain players who have been called upon based on players being unavailable. For instance, João Pedro being injured is like a good example of that. And with Norwich, it's practically around most areas of the pitch. I see Josh Sargent being right up for it, but I've barely seen Timo Pukki make a touch. So definitely need improvement with Timo Pukki. Their back line's not looking particularly confident either. Hanley trying to lead out, but at the moment it's not looking too organised at the moment. McCallum he's done all right in an attacking point of view, but defending wise, I've not been too sure. For having said that, McCallum was in the right place in the right time for managing to block a particularly good attack by Watford. And the midfield has been the most peculiar part of the pitch because there's not been too many passes that have been like penetrating both teams in around the midfield position. A lot of their attacks have either gone down wide or have been from long deliveries, almost avoiding the midfield entirely. I think Norwich have actually done better on a midfield front of view when it comes from transitioning from defence to attack, using that midfield very, very well there. Watford play quite differently. They play a little bit more with width when they go to their attacks, actually. At least we're giving him a game. Sargent is class. Yes, Sargent I've been quite impressed with, actually. I know he's not made a chance, but with his work rate, I can't fault it. He's done very, very well with that. I've been less impressed with Timo Pukki. He definitely needs to do a little bit more for me at the moment. Derby, by the way, have made it 3-0 between them and Accrington Stanley. Accrington actually are not in the bottom four, actually. I do lie about that. But they are only above the bottom four on goal difference, and they could fall down there at the moment. I mean, goal difference wise, Burton have got -18 and Accrington have got -16. So if it's 5-0 Derby, then Accrington, well, in fact, it needs to be 6-0 because Accrington Accrington have scored less than Burton. What am I saying? So yeah, 5-0 Derby and Accrington fall into the bottom three. So they've got to be very careful with that. I'm just going to take 2 seconds to adjust the light, which actually I could do while sitting down on camera. But what I've also got to do as well is blow my nose, because for some reason my nose is playing up and I'm not even ill. So I hope it's nothing bad. Okay, this looks nice. So just give me 2 seconds, guys. Just let me blow my nose, and then we can answer some comments and we can potentially review or just talk about what we saw in that first half. So give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll see you in a minute. It's even worse. I spilled my water as I was trying to leave as well, so I need to clear that up. You hear that after David Wagner? Yes. So that's what we were talking about with Blue Terrier at the start of this stream. I think it's a very interesting approach, but there's no doubt in my mind that I've always been a fan of David Wagner in English football. And I think with a team like Norwich that's got potential, he could potentially do good things for it, actually. So, people have asked me who's been a better team. I've got to say, I think with chances, I think Watford have been better. But I think Norwich have actually had their moments too. They've had that fantastic cross coming in, which unfortunately wasn't won by any player. And of course, Hanley had that goal disallowed as well for offside as well. So I'd say Watford with chances, but as a whole, maybe Norwich, but it's very, very close. Which is what you want to see. You want to see a very, very close game in these circumstances here. Okay, so let's go to Catchan. Please work, please. There we go. So Birmingham Middlesbrough 0-0, which is the game that Matt is watching. What sort of game has he got? 9 shots to 1. Pretty one-sided there, I dare say, for Middlesbrough there. Jukovic with only 1 shot. And, oh my god, look at that, yeah. All the shots coming like into the penalty box as well. So Birmingham definitely got to work on their defending a little bit, because it will only take a matter of time until Middlesbrough manage to pay that dominance off. Wigan Hull, currently 1-0 Hull going into half-time. Okay, so what's concerning here, there's only been 2 shots for Wigan. And you've definitely seen a lot more shots inside of the box for Hull. So Hull definitely able to create more. Yeah, 2 and none on target. 6, and with only 1 on target being their goal. It's not a great sign for Wigan. They need to create more. Hull have also missed a big chance too, which could have been one of their chances that they had inside of the box too. But yeah, definitely Wigan need to wake up a little bit here. What about West Brom and Reading? What are we seeing out of this? So, oh my goodness, look at the amount of shots we've seen here. What about Reading? Wow. Incredible, really. Oh, and did they ever go disallowed? Potentially. But look at the amount of shots here. That's incredible. So, 13 shots to 2. But Reading have only had 2. But 2 have been on target. And only 3 of the 13 of West Brom shots are on target. So that is an area of concern that they need to work on with West Brom. 2 big chances missed. 1 of their chances hitting the woodwork. So looks like West Brom have been knocking on the door, but they've not quite have had the final end product that they've been so successful with. So they're going to have to be a bit patient with that. Let's look at Swansea Burnley. So we've seen a couple of goals. So yeah, quite a few shots from Swansea. And Burnley, look at that. They barely had any shots. But despite that, Burnley leading. So it's a very similar story when Burnley beat Stoke. So currently, 62-38 possession. Swansea have had more shots, in fact, way more shots, and have had more shots on target to Burnley's as well. But look at that clinical ability again. Likewise with Reading, 2 shots and both on target. The difference is one of those shots on target, in fact, no, all of those shots on target have been goals. So that is what Reading would have really wanted against West Brom, but they've not got it at the moment. So 1 big chance for Swansea, and that turned out to be their goal in the end. But I guess what Swansea need to do is to carry on, but still needs to try and basically have this confidence. They're definitely playing well by the looks of things, and they need to continue to pin Burnley back. But they need to be careful on a defending point of view, because each time they concede a shot, it turns out to be a goal. Okay, yeah, so it looks like when you get a shot that goes like right into the net, that must be a disallowed goal, I would say. Okay, so if we look at the shots here, quite similar in a way, but we can definitely see Watford shots happening in one certain position, which is the right-hand side of the penalty box. With Norwich, it's a little bit more left side, but you can definitely see with the average positions of the shots, it's definitely Norwich struggling more to get some shots inside the box. Watford have definitely having quite a fair bit more success with that. 5 shots to 6, so as I said, very close. 1 shot on target each. Norwich definitely having more of the ball, which is about right. 2 block shots to 1, 3 offsides to 0, 2 corners to 1. So, yeah, I was right to say it's a very close game, but you could definitely see with the quality of chances, I think Watford have done a better job of it at the moment. So, definitely something to keep in mind, but I think anyone could take a result. Let's look at Stoke and Preston. Look at the amount of shots Stoke have had already. So, Wigan and Hull have already started their second half, and so have Swansea and Burnley, actually. So, Preston have not really tested Stoke too much by the looks of things. So, 11 shots to Stoke with only 3 for Preston. 2 on target to Preston 0. 5 off target to 2 there. So, by the looks of things, on an attacking point of view, Stoke again proving to be the better team, because I would argue with the chances they created against Burnley, they were actually better than Burnley. But it still wasn't a positive result for them. They narrowly lost out by 1-0. But it does feel like an opportunity for Stoke potentially to get something. It's actually still the first half of them, because as I said, there has been a 15-minute delay to their game. Before we go back to the main screen, let's see what the table currently looks like with these current results. Burnley, 6-point gap from Sheffield United and top of the table, 16 wins out of 26. Blackburn still with an 8-point gap over Sheffield United currently. That could increase to I can't actually do maths right now. That can increase to 11 if Sheffield United win against QPR tonight. Watford with this draw going to 7th, but as I said, actually a draw means that none of Norwich and Watford go into the top 6. If any of them win this particular game, then one of them will be in the top 6. So that is a good motivation for both teams to try and go for it for this game. Middlesbrough currently not winning against Birmingham. It's only a draw there, but they are narrowly outside of the top 6 currently if they do draw this game. West Brom, if they win, they could have a small chance of being just outside of the top 6. They're currently 11th at the moment. They're only drawing against Reading. So Reading and West Brom, look how close they are actually. A mid-table battle there. Swansea losing at the moment, but potentially if they do carry on and they get a draw out of it, it could see them staying around a similar position. Preston currently drawing, but a loss for them right now wouldn't be good considering how close it is in the relegation picture here. Stoke, if they carry on and they manage to find a result in the end of it, they could overtake their rivals Preston actually. And Wigan are missing a big opportunity. They're playing against a Hull City side where if Wigan win over Hull, Wigan will only be 3 points behind Hull. But currently, as you can see, there is a 9-point gap. So Wigan really need to go for it in this second half. Performance-wise, it doesn't give me a lot of hope. But by all means, Wigan really need to go for this. Here they are here. Watford performance seems better than the Mill and Swansea matches. Yeah, for what I can see, I think Watford have played better for what I've seen of them recently. Swansea resurgence, says Vijay. Yeah, I mean, Swansea looking like they're doing well. They just now need to get the results to be consistently better. Dara says, Bristol City should have beaten Coventry. Watch the highlights of the game and you'll understand why we should have had a penalty. The ref was terrible once again. I will look at it when I can, because there's a lot of frustration going around with Coventry in the moment, because I have been watching Matt's videos, and the theme here is just frustration at the moment there. I get Cathcart at the right back, no stopping Burnley and Sheffield United. Yes, agreed. At the moment, nothing looks like it's stopping him at the moment. How would I rate Watford's season so far? If I was given like a score out of 10, it would be like a 5, to be honest. Because I think they have been expected to be around the top 3 or top 2. And they are definitely below par at the moment. But it's not like a Sunderland level of bad. So if I'm comparing it with that, then it'll be just below average for me. Anyone for 6 or 7 for third spot. We should be battling for top 2. Yeah, I mean, that's why it's below average for me slightly. A 5, personally, for me. Just checking that. Yeah, I don't know why I saw a 2-0 with the current scorelines. Right, well, second half of Norwich Watford is just starting. They've literally given me no warning, but second half is just about to start in this game. Timo Pukki's kicked off, which I've been very critical of. Timo Pukki has been my biggest disappointment this half because he's not contributed too much to the build-up for Norwich today. Definitely needs a lot to do for me to have faith with him again. There we go. Got the timer right. So, 45 minutes for potentially one of these teams to be in the top 6 after this round of games. Honeygun, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm doing okay. I'm just happy it's a new year. I've got a good idea what my resolutions are going to be, but I've not implemented them yet. And I was just saying at the start of the stream, this is actually my last holiday day off. So this is the first bit of content I'm doing for 2023, but tomorrow I will be back at work. So things will be a bit more trickier to get some content out. I don't know if I'm able to put a review video out. I've got to be honest, And statistically, the review videos have not been doing particularly well compared to the predictions as well. So it has made me think about what content to make for the channel. So, there's a lot of things I'll definitely be... And there'll be a lot of decisions I'll be making this year as well, which will be quite important for my career. So, yeah, big moments there. But to put on my mind off it, we're watching... For what has been a good high-tempo game at the moment, we have had a small handful of chances between these two teams, I'd say. And we can definitely see the quality with their build-up play, but definitely the most crucial part with it being the final ball or the end product is the only thing that's missing with these both of these teams, and both teams with a real point to prove as well. So I'm hoping we see more of the same, more of this intensity, more of this desire from both teams. It's a good pass actually, but Grant Hanley sniffs the danger, stopping Ismail Assar. Angus Gunn's going to pass out from the back, so you've got to be very careful knowing how much pace Ismail Assar has. Vijay will be pleased for a point, but he thinks that Watford should win. I'm like, well, yeah, I think Watford should, because Watford, if they do win, they're back in the top 6, and things don't look too bad for them now. Bristol City have Birmingham next, and Birmingham will win. Well, yeah, Birmingham's performances, their results have definitely taken a bit of a dip, but I wouldn't say their performances have particularly taken too much of a dip either. It's just really down to the statistics, really, and I definitely will be able to look at that next time I do my predictions. I think the good thing that I have with these websites is that I can visualize to see how well has each team been able to have in terms of getting to the right areas. Here's Ngakia with an interesting ball, but Max Aarons heads the ball away from Ismail Assar, and Angus Gunn collects. Watford, I think, starting the second half a little bit better. A little bit similar to the first half, because I felt the opening period of the first half, Watford were much better, actually. But Norwich climbed their ways back into it. And Norwich have got a free kick. I think Morris is the one who concedes that foul there, but no yellow card being given. I don't know how we're going to get... because the atmosphere could be really toxic at home like it was against West Brom. Was it really that bad? I mean, I need to see how Bristol City were against Coventry. But if their home games are toxic, then it's not great, isn't it? Yeah, that's a very bad tackle by Morris. I'm surprised he actually wasn't booked for that, because he was nowhere near the ball. He was. Okay, well, I didn't see the referee give him a yellow card. But yeah, James Morris has been booked. So that's Watford's second yellow card, I believe, in this game. Watford need João Pedro? They do indeed. Because I don't think Issouf Bayo has got that same qualities, unfortunately. Nunez with the free kick. Here's Lewis Gibbs with a bit of room, but it's not a great one. It's been headed away. Here's Bayo, tackled by Lewis Gibbs, and Bayo concedes the free kick for Norwich. Grant Hanley this time being fouled. Definitely got that scrappy feel to it with the amount of challenges and free kicks being awarded for both teams. Which could be a tactic for both of them to disrupt the play of their opponent, but both need to bear in mind that both really need to win, so they definitely need to try and make sure that they do have a moment where they can have a chance to use their quality as well. Coniston, thank you so much for turning up. If you need to sleep with the time zone, please do so, because I don't want you to feel in any pain if you've got a lack of sleep. Right, we've got a counter-attack here. Here's James Morris with the left-hand side for Watford. Cross comes in. This could be beautiful. Header. Chance. What a save by Gunn. Chance again off the line. Watford goes so close for taking the lead. Brilliant defending in the end, and a good save by Angus Gunn from really close range. Bio should be doing better here. Let's see this again. So Keenan Davis squares it down. James Morris, left-hand side, got an abundance of room. Cross comes in. Gaspar heads it. And it's not a bad shot by Bio, but it's straight at Gunn. Oh my goodness me. Good header. Davis can't follow it through. And it's cleared away. Bio's really frustrated. I can clearly see he really needs a goal. Right. Bakuna taking this corner here. So, let's see this corner take place. Punched away by Gunn. Nunez heads it further away from danger. Although Sar's now won the ball back. Ngakia. Oh. Timo Pukki now pressing here. Wazakwan fan, welcome back. I'm trying not to look at chat too much because Watford have had a really big chance to take the lead here. So we could potentially see something happen in the next couple of minutes. Long ball going in. Sam McCallum heads it. I will be looking at chat, so I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I'm obviously wishing there was more of me, to be honest. Lewis Gibbs against Cabaselli. Can someone draw a foul so I can catch up with chat, please? Cabaselli with an interesting pass, but it's gone straight to McCallum. Oh, that's a poor ball there by McCallum there. Issue of Bio, and a poor touch gives it straight to McCallum. And it's a throw-in. Right, let's look at chat. Constant lives in New Zealand. I saw your firework display, actually, on the news quite recently. It looked quite nice, actually. Tired by the sounds. That must be a pain. Being able to touch football busy, it's 4 a.m. to 3 p.m. kickoff. Yeah, it's not really the best time zone, unfortunately, there. It's 9:45 in India. Oh my gosh. Guys are watching from all over the world. It's amazing to see the diversity here, which I'm absolutely loving. Is Bakuna any good, says RS9? He's had his moments, but I don't think he's played too big of a role in this game. I don't think he's really needed to be honest. Bakuna kind of playing in that defensive mid position. Arguably, maybe he could track back maybe a bit more, but when I have seen him, he's not been terrible. Oh, there's Delia Smith. Let's be having you. Well, yeah, welcome back. Once upon a fan there. But honestly, if any of you need to sleep, please do. But all of you popping up at this ridiculous hours to turn up to my stream shows unbelievable commitment, and I truly appreciate all of you who make your time to watch a 22-year-old ramble on a game and try and aspire to do some journalistic commentary, which just won't happen. I just enjoy watching football for a start, and I enjoy even more when I hear the opinions of others. Is it at first brilliant impression? Channel massive and worldwide. I wouldn't say massive yet. Worldwide, it's getting there. I'll give it that, Coniston. Thanks to you. Right. In terms of goals in the Championship, we've got no other goals to be talking about. We have got a couple more goals to talk about in League One. Bolton still 2-0 up against Barnsley, who've got a man advantage. Ipswich still looking for their first goal against Lincoln, but they've got a man up now since Lincoln are down to 10 men. Free kick by Watford, punched away by by Batman, sorry, it's the other way around. Sheffield Wednesday now 3-0 up against Cambridge. Derby 4-0 up, so one more goal conceded by Accrington Stanley fell forward into the bottom four, and Burton will be out of the bottom four. Rather have it back. Can Ben Gibson defend it? And they kind of do. Does by the look of it. You are cult viewing. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it. In fact, I've not really had a chance to promote the channel today because I've been so. I think a lot of you are talking about the Birmingham score and they're just watching that as well. Honestly, the fact that you've got multiple options to see people commentate games as well is great as well. But yeah, it looks like that Birmingham goal has been disallowed. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so to promote the channel, we are on currently 15 likes actually. So guys, if we can hit the like button, potentially getting to 30 likes, that would be absolutely amazing if we can do so. That would be a brilliant achievement for this channel. For subs, we are on 1,582. We've had no changes with the subs so far today. 18 away from 1,600. So we could get to 1.6k very, very soon. Flag's gone up. Okay, so nothing's happened for Norwich there. Yeah, so we're 18 subs away from 1,600. If you guys have not hit the subscribe... Oh, hang on. Just 2 have just come in. Thank you so much to whoever's just subscribed. We're now 16 away from 1,600. That would be a brilliant achievement if we can get there as soon as we can. And the big achievement, really, or the big motivation, is that 2,000 subs, which is now 416 subs away, I shaved my beard. So, yeah, my beard's in trouble, in a way. But thank you guys for the constant support. It's really nice. RS9, thank you so, so much. Who's going to win League One? I think Sheffield Wednesday. Maybe shocking I've not picked Plymouth, but I generally think if Azaz stays as injured as he is and Whittaker either gets recalled or gets injured for the rest of the season, I think Plymouth will have a small dip. I just think Sheffield Wednesday's depth is insane, and I think they'll win the league. But I could not tell you who's going to finish second. I don't have too much faith in Ipswich maintaining that consistency, but Ipswich are still in the battle, and Ipswich only need 1 goal, and then Sheffield Wednesday are now back to third. So it's a very competitive League One season, and I'm loving it. And for the fact that I work in Ipswich as well, it's always very interesting for me to hear the insight of how all my work colleagues think the same as well. And they are avid football fans as well, which has made me feel right at home when I'm working as an accounts assistant there. So it's amazing, really. Sheffield Wednesday, but a lot of people say, yeah, I personally think Sheffield Wednesday have got the better resources to potentially answer for the whole season. We do actually have a goal in St Andrews. So Birmingham have had a goal just now. Obviously, could be a chance for Watford here, actually, before I transition to that. No, good defending by Grant Hanley. Corner, Watford. Right, let's quickly talk about what Middlesbrough, getting the lead against Birmingham. Matt Crooks getting the goal. Johnny Howson assisting for that goal there. If I go to the stats, okay, so the shot is clearly not going into the goal there. Okay, that's interesting. But, yeah, Birmingham could have taken the lead. They didn't. It is Middlesbrough who instead take the lead with Matt Crooks. That puts Middlesbrough back into the top 6 and all the way up to 4th place, which is insane for Middlesbrough to be this high up the table. Let's go back into this game. Mario Gasper takes a corner for Watford. Right. Header by Bayo, and it's an easy save by Angus Gunn. Do I think Barrow go up from League 2? If they do, it'll be through playoffs. I don't see them getting automatically promoted. They had a great start, Barrow, but they have dropped off a bit too much to me, unfortunately, now. I'm not sure Barrow, yeah, but I'm feeling Swindon might go up after getting Charlie Austin. I did see that, actually. That is a very interesting signing there for... Well, okay, all of a sudden we've got goals. My gosh, we've got more than 1 goal to talk about. Right, okay. Let's go back to St Andrews, because it's still... Well, it's Middlesbrough taking the lead, but now they've taken a quick double. I don't know who scored for Middlesbrough, but they've taken the lead. But another goal I've just noticed, West Brom have now taken the lead against Reading. I said that West Brom needed to continue as they were, and they would eventually get some success. Here's Aaron Statimo Pukki. Good defending. Basiri Alta. It's a corner to Norwich. So it's back to 1-0, unless it's been disallowed. No, apparently Matt Crooks has scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. Fair play to the lad. He's done really, really well to take Middlesbrough into the finish line, I dare say, as well. Right, they need to update Norwich and Watford because we are into the second half. Stoke and Preston, as I said, have had a 15-minute delay, so that game's going to end quite a fair bit later. Oh, that's not the best corner by Nunez there. It doesn't reach anyone. And it's a goal kick. I miss those goal notifications going up. When was the last time Barrow was in League One? I couldn't tell you, to be honest. It would have been a long time ago. In fact, I'm going to use Google for this because I'm not even going to pretend that I know. But I know Barrow's journey. They've been as far down as National League North not too long ago, actually. So they've had a really good journey to get to where they are. So if I go Barrow, I mean, AFC tells me that maybe they were dissolved and potentially a fan association club has now made them go back to where they wanted to be. Okay, here's Mario Gaspar. Here's Bakuna. Ingakia to Bayo. Mario Gaspar, good defending by Lewis Gibbs. Here's Josh Sargent winning a free kick to Norwich. But it's Vacuum Bayo again with a really poor ball again. I'm really frustrated with Vacuum Bayo because he's clearly got some good qualities, but he's really not got that confidence that is going to tell me that he's going to really be a good replacement or good backup for João Pedro, unfortunately. I'll look into Barrow a little bit later because I think we've got more goals coming in. Yes, we've got a second goal in the DW, and it's a good one for me for my predictions because I predicted 1-1 between Wigan and Hull. And what has happened? Wigan have now equalised. This is a very important goal for their season. Nathan Broadhead scores with James McClay getting the assist. If anything, Wigan really need to go for the win here because if they win this game, they only close the gap to Hull by 3 points. And things don't look so bad for them as well. They do raise a couple of places up the table if they can find this win. So only 2 games currently 0-0. Norwich, Watford, of course, one of the games I pick, and Stoke and Preston. Still 2-1 Burnley. West Brom still 1-0 up there. And Middlesbrough is officially 2-0. That's been confirmed. Cross comes in. Doesn't find Vacuum Bayo. It's well defended by Sam McCallum. Looks like Keenan Davis is down on the floor. I don't know what's happened to him. Has he injured himself potentially? Which has signalled a couple of boos from the crowd. Watford fans also predicted 1-1, so I thought that could have been me gaining some ground, but no, it seems Watford fan had thought very similarly. Roberto seems to be doing well. Yes, he has been doing well. He's getting Luton back into the top 6, which is something that even Nathan Jones couldn't do this season until he left with Edwards coming in. And that makes me worried about Nathan Jones' future if he doesn't stay on. Or, yeah, he doesn't look good. I think Davis needs to go off here. Yeah, no. He needs to go off for me. He can't run with this. He's hobbling along. I don't know what happened. Let's see. Was it a tackle? It was the leg of Nunez in that free kick situation, which is... Yeah, and he tried to run forward and shake it off, and that's just made it worse, hasn't it? So it started with the connection of... It was that counter-attack, as I was saying, which Nunez put a leg out to stop Davis, but he's tried to run it off, and it's not worked out well. Yep, it is another injury. Keenan Davis is off, and Yasser Esprilla is now replacing. I think Davis's one is not going to be too bad. I think just give it a couple of days of rest, it should be okay. Because I think the initial contact itself wasn't too bad. The only concern I have is that he tried to run on it. And that tends to make the injury worse. But I think likewise with Kalu, I don't think it's going to be long term. I'll be very surprised if it is. But wow, I've only just seen the amount of injuries that Watford have had. 2 defenders, 6 midfielders and 5 strikers injured. That is insane. Last time Luton was in the Premier League was 1991-92. Wow, that's quite an achievement there. I'm just it doesn't look like they were ever in a big level. They were always a long league club. Then they had some financial difficulties in the 90s. Then they returned to the Conference National in the 2000s. Then they had a takeover in 2014, which was where Barra AFC comes in. And then pretty much since that takeover, in fact, well, it's taken a bit of time, but 2020 actually was when they returned to the Football League entirely. So it's been an incredible rise, but clearly I think the turnaround was the takeover change, which they had in 2014. You went 1-1 for the match. Seems like a lot of you went for 1-1 for this Wigan Hull game. Still no new goals in the Championship. Oh no. Okay, I've just seen the score at Sincil Bank. Not good news for Ipswich. It's 1-0 Lincoln. Despite going down to 10 men, they've scored first. It's a Jack Diamond penalty. So their antics are getting to the heads of Ipswich again. Ipswich having all the chances there by the looks of things here, but just the antics of Lincoln are not helping Ipswich at all. Cross comes in, good defending by McCallum, and free kick won by Norwich. I tell you what, this could be the start of a really bad decline for Ipswich if they're not careful. This could mean if I go back to work tomorrow, they're going to be in a really hissy mood. So I'm not too looking forward to that if it is going to end in a Lincoln defeat. Yes, Sheffield Wednesday indeed at second place. They were already second place with Ipswich drawing. So the fact that Ipswich are losing, they've then got a 3-point gap over them. And I think they've got a better goal difference than Ipswich as well. So, yeah, they've got to be very careful now. A yellow card being awarded here. I think it's to a Watford player this time. And I think it's Sirialta getting a yellow card this time. So, it's a foul on Timo Pukki, where Timo Pukki's not done too much, but it was actually a good turn by Pukki. And Sirialta had to foul him. The Chilean international getting a yellow card. Now we're throwing to Norwich, where Norwich have not really done anything in this half, I've got to be honest. But Timo Pukki, good defending. He's won a corner. Showing that Sheffield United might be going up because I want to see United versus Wednesday next season. Yes, I'd tell you one thing I've not done on this channel yet in terms of YouTube is look over the Steel City derby. That's really one thing I do want to see, but I don't know what's more likely, Sheffield United going up or Sheffield Wednesday going up. It's quite tricky. I think both have got equal chance of going up into their respective leagues. Although what I could be hoping is that if Sheffield Wednesday go up and they survive and Sheffield United go straight back down, then within 2 seasons we could get the Steel City derby back. Corner coming in for Norwich, headed away by Sprilla. Gibbs trying to win it back. Isofio trying to go to counter-attack, but it's kind of bobbling in there. Ngakia now with the long looped ball away, and the referee has stopped play. I think a throw-in for Norwich. Pequeno, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. What's my thoughts on Sara tonight? Gabriel Sara of Norwich. Interesting, really. I've to be honest, I've not commentated a lot on Sara, but I can see the importance of Sara's role, if that makes sense. I don't think he's needed to do too much. Oh, this could be a chance for Nunez. Oh, just wide of the post. It is 4-0 Sheffield Wednesday indeed. Yeah, 1 goal for Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, in fact, no, actually, no. I'm thinking of Derby. So, yeah, 4-0 Sheffield Wednesday. They'll definitely be picking up 3 points. It's now really down to Ipswich if they can collect a comeback. Yeah, Sara's not... He's done quite well, but I definitely would say with the price tag, the expectation, he's definitely got a lot of expectations and pressure on his hands. But I can see him being a very important part in this squad. So I think he's done okay, but definitely with the weighted expectations, I think it's always going to be very hard on him, really. And I think a lot of big pundits will be hard on his performance as well. He's doing the dirty job in terms of like potentially trying to tick things along in the midfield battle. I can see that. Sunderland interested of getting Cameron Archer. If anyone gets Cameron Archer in, that is a guaranteed 10 goals in the second half of the season, in my opinion. When he was with Preston last year, bearing in mind for how much Preston struggled even last year to get goals, Cameron Archer turned Preston's fortunes around in a very short space of time. And I think one of Preston's biggest mistakes, which Ben may be quite aware of, is how they didn't really negotiate with Villa to try and keep him permanently. Because he really did look like he was enjoying his football at Preston. But now he's practically had no involvement with Villa this season. So for me, he definitely needs to get another move back down to the Championship. And if anyone does get him, it'd be a great signing. And in fact, if he does go to Sunderland, I think that would be a really good replacement for Sims. I actually think that would be almost a like-for-like replacement. They are different players, but they're both a young player coming from a Premier League club who they want their respective player to get more minutes. And I think Cameron Archer's just got a little bit more arrogance about him. He's got a bit more strength than Sims as well. Through ball to Sargent. Gets a touch. Oh, he doesn't get his shot on target. It's just over the goal. And Bachmann is struggling here. Could this be another injury, but this time to the goalkeeper? God, these poor men with their injury kits right now. They've been running like across the pitch many times. They won a penalty, Norwich, for that, but I don't think it was a penalty challenge. But I need to see it again, because if it, in a way, because I've seen like a World Cup penalty given for something quite similar, and the referee is not giving it. So that could be quite frustrating for Norwich. Let's see this again. Nunez. Oh, that's a gorgeous ball. Okay. I think that was Sarah actually with that through ball pass. So we're talking about Sarah's role. Played a really good part into that attack. Great through ball. And Sargent does everything right. But the thing is, I think Sargent needed to get that on target. And I think the follow through is what Norwich are defending on now. And you would argue, I would argue that can be a penalty shout. Potentially Watford have got away with one there. But Batman is still down because ultimately, whilst he conceded the challenge on Sargent, he clearly got a really bad connection with him there. Bilic is not happy with Esprilla. He's definitely telling him what to do. Hope no one takes Sarr out, especially with João Pedro already out. Slavic has said Norwich will win. So many newer names here. If anyone's new, let me know. And everyone, do make sure we welcome anyone who is new to this channel as well. We always welcome everyone into our friendly community. By the way, in terms of a like target, I know it says 30 likes there. Oh, we've got a couple of substitutions actually. Let's actually see those before I promote the channel. Max Aarons is going off. And, it's the name I can't say. It's Andrew Omabamidele going on for Max Aarons. In fact, that's actually the best. I've actually said his surname there. Omabamidele is going on for Max Aarons there. That's Norwich's substitution. I don't know if they're doing any more. Bachmann has just been hoisted back up. Is he fit to go on? Does there need to be another substitution? Because Watford have got Ben Hamer as a substitute goalkeeper. Oh, we could have a concussion moment for Batman. He's not looking like he's not got a lot of comfort there. God, it's been scrappy to say the least, but the amount of injuries that Watford are piling up, 13, and this will be injury number 14 if he does go off the pitch. I would like to say I think Batman's okay. I think Batman can continue. Behemoth is getting ready just in case. I think Batman can continue, but I don't know. I don't know about ball going into the net. No, he hadn't taken the goal kick there. Right, no goal kick being taken there. Batman looks like he will continue. He's just taken the goal kick. Right, okay. Full salam for Watford. You've not got another injury as of now. Right, so in terms of subscribers, we are, well, in terms of likes actually, we're on 16 likes currently at the moment. Could we try and get to 25 likes? That would be a brilliant achievement for the channel if we can. So only 9 of you would need to like the channel of this video if you've not done so. So 9 likes away, that would be absolutely brilliant if we can get there. That would be absolutely brilliant if we can. For subscribers, oh, Team Mapuki doing quite well. Oh, okay, Batman's been really struggling here. He's gone into the advertising hoardings there. So Batman's got to be very careful with that. So in 1584 subscribers currently, we're 16 away from 1,600. If we can try and get a little bit closer to 1,600, that would be absolutely amazing if we can get there. Thank you to a couple of you who have subscribed today. That's also very, very amazing of you. But thank you guys, as always, for terrific support round in this channel. Oh, it's 2-1 Hull. That's my prediction gone for Wigan versus Hull, because Hull have now taken the lead. That is not good news for Wigan. But a prediction that's back on is Middlesbrough, because I predicted 2-1 Middlesbrough. Tahith Chong scores the 1 goal for Birmingham. This could be a chance potentially for Birmingham to get back into this. I need 1 West Brom goal preferably, because that will be another correct score on my part there. And I need 1 Stoke City goal, because those were my predictions there. What did you predict in that game? Did you predict 3-1 Hull? Oh, free kick coming in, headed away by Watford there. Definitely Norwich pressing now. It was definitely Watford who had the best chance to go ahead. But in the past 10 minutes, it's been Norwich. Having said that, there's a counter-attack taking place for Watford. Watford definitely hitting Norwich on the break a bit. Here's Ismail Assar. Here's James Morris. Not a great ball at all. Good defending, however, by Gibbs. So, here's Ismail Assar back on the ball. Here's Kabasele against Timu Puki. Ngakia. But it's good defending by Omar Balotelli there. Oh, you predicted 2-1. Oh, nice. Okay, so your prediction's on. I don't think too many people predicted a Hull win, so that'd be a really good prediction there. Now, that will mean that Hull are 9 points clear of Wigan, which is a very good result for them there. Here's Omar Balotelli against Cathcart. He finds space for Sargent. Sirialta clears it away. 5-0 Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, they're blowing Cambridge away. Cambridge are really struggling with their form now. I saw this matchup thinking Cambridge definitely are not going to get a shock here. Not considering where they were in the start of the season. Can we see Gatsby? We'll see Gatsby at the end of the stream, because he's actually been a really good boy. He's actually stayed put and has not decided to leave. Oh, that is an ambitious effort by Adam Ida. Just outside the box. And Batman has had to go and dive for it, but it's just wide of the post. So let's see this again. Here's Adam Ida. It's good actual intentions from Adam Ida there. Getting past Ngakia. Finding a bit of space. Batman doesn't get a hand onto it. It's just wide of the post, but it's not a bad effort by Adam Ida. I predicted 2-2 in this game, or 1-1. It was a draw, I predicted. So definitely not going to get 3 points, but I could get 1 point if it carries on as a draw. I know it's not as predicted. What was my prediction for this game? Yeah, it was definitely a draw. It was either 1-1 or 2-2. So I definitely think I'm not getting 3 points in my prediction league, but I could get 1 if I get a draw correct. Oh, just definitely need a drink of water because my throat's playing up now. I was hoping this game would get goals. It's been a good quality game, but unfortunately, we've just not seen enough as a vocal point up front to see some goals. Ismail Assar, good defending by Ben Gibson there, and so throw in to Watford. Who do you think will win the League One playoffs? Oh, depends who's in it, really, to be honest. Barnsley are favourite to me. Even though they're losing to Bolton, I think Barnsley have got good quality. When I saw Ipswich play Barnsley, Devante Cole was a handful. A big handful. So if he plays like he did against Ipswich there, then he would be a big difference in that game. Bolton could be a favourite. I think Bolton thrive on being an underdog team. So if they're in the top 6, I think they can have a good chance. But Ipswich, you would argue, should be the favourites. But Ipswich, so many times, just crumble under pressure. I think Bolton might do it. Yeah, potentially underdog story is very realistic. You know, we saw Wickham do it. So definitely not impossible for that happening. Blackpool linked to getting Bowler back on loan because I believe he's going to Pam Club Forest. So if that ever happens, he'll carry Blackpool to safety. A lot of things will have to change in that deal, though, because he's coming out of Olympiacos, isn't he? So much we need to change. Here's Timo Pukki, though, for Norwich with a bit of room. Gabriel Sara. Oh! What a shot that was. That was close. That was really, really close. Oh, my goodness. What a chance that was. Oh gosh, I think there's another man down for Watford. But that was a really big chance for Norwich there. Pukki, not particularly the best decision there. But Sara, that was a really good strike. Just wide of the post. Oh, true. Paul Warren for Derby. And Derby will want to go back up as well. Yeah, I've completely forgot about Derby. In fact, they might actually be my favourites, actually. Wow. So it looks like Bilic is going into more substitutions. I picked the wrong game. Well, thanks for telling me this now. I've honestly, in terms of actually seeing the build-up play, I've been relatively entertained. It's just a shame that we've not seen goals. That's the only thing we've not had. We've seen drama. We've definitely seen intensity. We've definitely seen some controversy. But the only thing we've not had is goals, which obviously is a crucial part of the game. But, you know, you can have entertaining 0-0s. And actually, I think this one would be quite an entertaining 0-0 draw. Wow. At least it isn't Stoke versus Preston. Well, I predicted 1-0 because I expected this game to not have many goals, but I fear that maybe I should have predicted 0-0 for this one. I was thinking the 0-0 draws were going to come back. Right. So a defensive substitution. Cabaselli's off with Trustek on. Hopefully it's not another defensive injury there. Hull score 3. Oh no. Right, well that's bad news for Hunnigan, but there's even worse news for Wigan. If this is another 4-1 display, Wigan are not proving to show a lot if their performances to stay up. Estupina scored the second one, and Tyler Smith has just scored for Hull City. That means Hull are 9 points clear of Wigan, and they will be on 33 points, I think. Yes. So they're only 2 points behind Preston. So Preston lose against Stoke today. They can only be 1 point above Hull. And considering how close Hull were to relegation at that point, they've got to be very careful with that. But I think this is a really, really bad defeat for Wigan Athletic if it does carry on as it is. Wigan in the mud. You know it's bad when Tyler Smith is scoring, says Hunnigan. My goodness me. Oh. Watford had the chance to attack. Didn't quite get there. Birmingham Middlesbrough still 2-1. 1-0 West Brom. But would really like to see West Brom score one. And Stoke scoring one would be really nice as well. Yeah. Middlesbrough also gained my 3 points as well, wasn't Gromit fan. So I can only hope that it stays that way for our sake. Charlie needs a Reading goal. Thank you, Charlie, by the way, for the gift if I asked you. Cross comes in. Oh, no. Okay, he's cutting it back. Ismail Assar doing very well there. Espria. Oh, good effort. Just wide. Did you know that Telford scored twice against the club and he got a golden boot for last season? That could have been for the playoffs. Oh my god, of course we jinx it, don't we? It's 3-1 Middlesbrough, so we're not getting 3 points out of it. I don't think I said 3-1. So, yeah, it's game over for 3 points. It would at least be 1 point, though. But that definitely really helps with Middlesbrough's goal difference as well, actually, now looking at it. Oh, that's actually good goalkeeping by Daniel Back. He wants a goal kick, but I think it's been given as a corner. So because Charlie came in there, great. Rip, says Penguin. Yeah. Look at all these goals we could have had, and we've had no goals here at the moment. Corner coming in, headed away. Oh, okay, booted away. Sirialta. Oh, this could be bad. Sarr has managed to ride past Sam McCallum. Watford have a chance. Chance! We have a goal in this game. It's gone to Watford. It's off Bio, who's been very frustrating as a viewer to watch. But just like that, Watford with their counter-attacks, which they have been testing Norwich with all game, has finally paid off. An 86th minute goal for Isof Bio makes it 1-0 Watford, which takes Watford back into the top 6. It's a good counter-attack again in the left-hand side. Sam McCallum loses out to pace to Ismail Assar, goes for the tackle, misses. Omar Bamidele doesn't get there quick enough to make the clearance as well from the square pass. Doesn't spot Isof Bio, free with space, simply taps it in, and that makes it 1-0 to Watford, just like that. Now not the wrong game? Well, yeah, we've been entertained, and finally we've got a goal as well. Watford, with the mountain of injuries they've had, they've now taken the lead. It's Vakoum Bio's 4th goal of this season. He's not scored many, but he has scored some very crucial goals when he's been relied upon. Can Norwich make it in time? That is the question, because even with chances, I say Watford have been better. Watford have had the more clear-cut chances, and despite Norwich getting some good areas, they've just not been able to hit the target. Batman has not really been tested. Don't be surprised if Sunderland drop off. If it's true, Ipswich have just equalised. I think I've just got a notification on it. It has. Okay, so Ipswich have just equalised. Could be a late Grand Slam finish. Cameron Humphreys, who's literally just been substituted on for West Burns, has scored. Right, well, right now, Ipswich definitely need to get 3 points here. So they've got 4 minutes to get a goal. Now it's not looking too bad for them. Definitely need a goal, though. West Brom, please score 1 goal, because that'll give me 3 points for the predictions. And I really need Stoke to score as well. Oh! This was close for Norwich. Nearly missed a potential equalising goal because I was talking through the games. So it was Sargent, Nunez. Oh, Troost Ekon, right place, right time. Didn't quite know what to do with himself, but he closed his legs and it's gone wide of the post. Corner came in very quickly there. Ball goes in, headed away. Timo Pukki could get it. Oh, that was close. Oh my gosh, it's another 4-1 defeat for Wigan. That is 3 consecutive 4-1 defeats in a row for Wigan Athletic. They lost 4-1 against Middlesbrough, 4-1 against Sunderland, and now 4-1 against Hull City. Not a great impression at all for Kolo Toure and Wigan Athletic's survival hopes. Hull, on the other hand, look like that they are cruising now and potentially have got their goal scoring problems sorted. Oh, okay. So Tom was celebrating because Solihull Moors have equalised. In fact, I've not actually checked the games actually. So it looks like Solihull Moors have equalised against Wrexham. That's a big goal if that's the case. Oh, that was a big chance for Wrexham to potentially make some ground, but if it is 2-2, then it's a missed chance. 9 minutes of added time in this game against Norwich and Watford. We've got 9 minutes to see if Norwich can find an equaliser. Is it 2-1 or is it 2-2? I don't know. Mizu's already chanting the Torre chant. Charlie really wants a Reading goal. I personally really want a West Brom goal, to be honest. Maybe it was a goal disallowed. But if it is a Wrexham win, that's a huge win for Wrexham, considering that Notts County are not playing this weekend due to a postponed game. I'm not going to check the National League South because I know Chelmsford aren't playing. They played against Braintree quite recently. We beat them at Melbourne City Stadium 2-0, but at their place we drew 2-2. Wigan's mistake this season was sacking Richardson. It did feel a bit premature when they sacked him, to be honest, and I wasn't really too keen on the replacement either. So, yeah, it definitely wasn't a great decision on their part, in my opinion. God, excuse me. 1 minute of the 9 minutes is already gone. Birmingham and Middlesbrough nearly game over there. West Brom Reading definitely the one that's tense. Some predicting 1-1. Some predicting 2-0 like me. I really would like someone to add to the Daryl DK goal that's already there for West Brom, because 2-0 will give me 3 points. Burnley still hanging on against Swansea. Still 2-1. No goals in the second half currently in that game. Stoke and Preston still 0-0 going into the 80th minute in that one. I would really love a Stoke goal because that'll give me 3 points there. But the big result is Wigan 1, Hull City 4. Game's on the pub, but you prefer to watch me. That is really nice of you. If Wigan don't get points deduction 1920 season, who knows what could have happened? It could have been Prem or better. I don't think they would have gone Prem, but they were actually mid-table before they got that points deduction. It's the shoulda, woulda, coulda. You just would have never known. I could have potentially seen Wigan losing some of their players to supposedly bigger clubs. To be quite honest, if they did survive, their financial situation just wasn't savable, unfortunately. There is Cabaselli injury bad. Once again, it was a strain. So if it's a strain, that could be a couple of weeks, but I don't think it's going to be too long term either. I personally don't think any one of these injuries are going to be very long term. But I'll be very upset if they are long term, because I think they're very important for Watford. But that goes up to 14 injured players, I like to dare say, which is ridiculous, really. Karanka to Wigan. Now that actually does sound like that's something that could be done, but obviously they'll need to get rid of Kolo Toure in pretty embarrassing fashion as well. Have any games finished? For what I've seen, only one game has finished so far, which is Wigan 1, Hull City 4. Considering Wigan have equalised, I mean, that's a really poor result for Wigan overall. Norwich still pushing for an equaliser. It's not Wigan. Watford sitting back a tiny bit more now. Definitely playing more on the break, and in fact they're doing so again. This could be dangerous for Norwich here. It's Brilla now running there. But a good tackle by Josh Sargent. Swansea and Burnley have ended 2-1. That's 1 point for the predictions for me. But the 4 other games in the 3 o'clock kickoffs have still going at the moment. Yeah. On my Bamideni now. Adamida. He's going to pass it to Gibbs. This is tense, really. Cross comes in. I always get them confused. Sirialta manages to head the ball away. Throw in Norwich. Right. I'm going to go back to this scene because this is going to be this is going to be a Grand Slam finish, this. We've still got 5 minutes of the 9 minutes left to play. Sara. He wins a free kick in the right-hand side of the penalty box. Norwich never got sacked. I can agree on that now. Vijay can't watch. I understand it on your part. It's been really tough. Morris looking like that he's down now. Last minute equaliser disallowed apparently for Solihull Moles. That's really unlucky actually. Oh, West Brom's finished 1-0. Darn it. Okay, I was 1 goal off. But that's still 1 point for my predictions. And Birmingham and Middlesbrough is going to be 1 point as well. We've only got 3 games left. One of them being the ones I'm currently watching. And the other one being Stoke Preston, which had a delayed kickoff. So if anyone knows details about the delayed kickoff of Stoke Preston, do let me know. Free kick coming in. Oh! That was not a bad free kick by Sara there. Nerve-wracking, just please no more injuries. I think Morris is not injured. I think he's alright. And, oh, the free kick for Sara hit the woodwork. I was thinking it was a save by Batman, but no. It comes on the outside of the post. Oh, okay. That may have been the closest Norwich have got to scoring this. Dice can have Blackpool. If Preston draw 0-0, I will donate when I get home. My God, Charlie. Well, I predicted 1-0 Stoke. So I don't know what I would rather have, to be honest. But thank you, by the way, if it is you, Charlie, for that. That's really appreciative of you. Do appreciate the support for all of you. You guys have been absolutely awesome. With it being the final 3 minutes, let's go on a final like spike. Because there's 19 of you here, apparently. And there's 17 likes. So there's more viewers than likes. If you guys have not liked the stream yet, please hit that like button. It really, really does help the growth of this channel when you do that. It really, really does. But thank you as always for supporting. In terms of subscribers, we're on 1,584 currently. 16 away from 1,600. Could we potentially in the last couple of minutes of this stream get a little bit closer to there? That would be a brilliant, brilliant achievement if we can. But we're only 16 away from 1,600. And of course, that will put us very close to 2,000 subscribers, which would be the time I shave my beard. Birmingham 1, Middlesbrough 3 has ended full time. We've still got 1.5 minutes left with this game to watch. A couple of weeks ago, I wasn't sure about naming the side. I love that. Counter-attack for Watford again. That's a gorgeous ball, but Gunn is out of his goal, to be fair, and he manages to defend it well. New Year, same Preston, but says Tom. Does look that way, doesn't it? Roy Keane to Bristol City. Oh, I'd love if Roy Keane's back as a Championship manager. So, 1 more minute of the 9 minutes of the additional time. Can we find a last-minute equaliser from Norwich? Corner comes in. Or cross comes in, sorry, and it doesn't find Hanley. Goal kick, Watford, which Batman will be taking his time with. It would be hilarious. I think he would rip Bristol City a new one with his insults. Gatsby, you being good? You staying there? Because I did promise to show Gatsby an event, but I need to put a light on because it's getting really dark now. There we go. That looks much better. Because I could just literally just flip my camera to show you Gatsby, but you won't be able to see him because the light's not on him. Right, 10 seconds before full time. Norwich again, and the ball's gone out of play. This might be it. And now will be a huge 3 points for Watford, who return to the top 6 with this result. The throw-in's about to be taken, and obviously they're taking their time with that. Referee definitely wants the throw-in getting taken. They're definitely talking about David Wagner and Stuart Webber, that connection potentially taking over Norwich, but he's got a lot of work to do. Sargent with the header, and it's just cleared away by Truesdale, and it's the full-time whistle. 99 minutes of long football, but it has ended with Watford picking up the 3 points despite the injuries they've got. Over 15 injuries. They've managed to pick up 3 points that will be very crucial in their season. An away win against Premier League relegation rival Norwich. It shows that Norwich have got so much work to do with their attack going forward. Watford with this 1-0 win right now. Let's see what that does when we compare the table. So it's in fact a very important 3 points for Watford, because as you can see, Watford are not only back into the top 6, they are 4th, 1 point clear of Middlesbrough and only 2 behind Blackburn Rovers. Millwall still in the top 6 in 6th place. Norwich, on the other hand, this is their 10th defeat already this season, and they are down in 10th place. But they could go down as far as 12th had they not had as good of a goal difference as they had. But their goal difference, actually, looking at it, is only +3. That for Norwich, considering the goal scorers that we've seen for Norwich, it is very, very poor seeing them in this position here. The only other game still taking place is Stoke and Preston. Not really much for me to talk about in terms of how they're looking at the moment. They're both drawing and they practically will stay at their exact position. So yeah, Norwich Watford full-time 1-0 to Watford. I'm actually going to stay and see when Stoke and Preston will end, because I really do want to see if Stoke score for my prediction's sake. Blackpool now faces the former Premier League team Watford. That'll be a tough game, actually. Should Norwich have sat Dean Smith or kept him for a bit longer? I just wasn't too sure about the whole decision of getting Dean Smith in the first place, to be honest. I think whilst Daniel Farke, clearly couldn't cut it at the Prem, he always had the formula to get good results in the Championship, and unfortunately I think Dean Smith had just too high expectations, sadly. And a big decision's got to be made, really, to be honest. Charlie's really pleased with that result. What are you talking about, Ben HD Merchants there? I don't know what that's related to anything. Don't celebrate for too long. Yeah, true. It could go back to haunt you. So, people want to see Gatsby. You can see him. I'll see if I can get angle right. There he is. He's just been sitting there for the whole stream. He's been a really good boy today, actually. Are you going to talk to people? You going to talk to people, or are you just going to continue to wash? But he's been a really good boy, actually, because previously he's been very noisy, but he's actually been good as gold today. He stayed quiet, and now, because he literally joined just before the stream started, and normally what I have to do is to basically open the door for him to let him out, but he's actually stayed the whole time. He's actually stayed the whole time, which is something that doesn't happen too often, to be honest. So we'll stay on until Stoke and Preston's at full time, just so we get our confirmed results and we know what the table is going to look like. There is also one more match to watch, which is QPR versus Sheffield United, of course. Stoke Preston still 0-0. Really need one home goal for me to get 3 points in the predictions. And that could be a big difference that will not go my way at this point. I don't know how many minutes of added time there are. In fact, can I go on the red button? Because I should be able to go to the red button and actually watch this game. I can quickly talk about it as I'm seeing it. I mean, potentially we've only got 1 minute left to watch, but it's probably still worth seeing, what is taking place. For what I know, there could be a last... Oh my god, well, okay, I'm not watching it now because Preston has snuck it, they've done it. They've managed to get a late goal, so there has been a goal, but it's gone to the way of Preston. So actually, one, it's still not 0-0, so I'm not getting the donation from Charlie. And it's 1-0, but it's 1-0 to the wrong team that I wanted. It was Preston as well. So literally, in that case, the worst case scenario took place. But apparently Preston have scored a late goal, and that is a really important goal for Preston's season, actually. And it means Preston, look how much they rise up the table. They go up to 10th. If they were all the way down in 16th before they got up to 10th, that goes to tell you how much difference 2 points makes in the championships. Review tomorrow? I don't know. It depends on the time. I might not cover the QPR Sheffield United game though. I don't know, to be honest, Charlie. We'll see. Preston do indeed score. I don't know who scored yet because it won't tell me who scored, and my TV's lagged because it's not loading. As soon as I see the goal scorer show. Right, okay, so the goal scorer for Preston was Ched Evans. Ched Evans was the goal scorer for Preston. And as I've been saying, that goal for Preston takes them back into the top 10 of the table. And Norwich dropped down to 11th, which is quite shocking, to be honest. Sunderland fall down to 8th currently because they only drew against Blackpool last time. That goes to show how ruthless the Championship is. You may not win a game, but you can still draw a game, but you can still drop down a couple of places. It's a ruthless league to compete in, as we've seen. But there are major concerns for Wigan. The only relief is that there's only a 3-point gap between them and 21st. But you can see even Stoke losing today and Bristol City, they've got a tiny gap still from Wigan. But the danger with them is that they're not far behind, or ahead, I should say, of the likes of Blackpool and even Huddersfield to a certain way as well. Riley says, on Watford till I die. That must have been a really good result for you there. Wilson Gwen fan wants Stoke to score late on. I mean, I'm trying to get the red button, but it won't load for me for some bizarre reason. I don't know why it's not working. I could try and watch it. But we're clearly getting... Okay, so it kicked off at 3:15, which I don't know why. So it's, I mean, it said the result was 1-0 Preston, but I don't see it being full time yet. Ched Evans getting a yellow card. Buzzing, my champions Watford won. You better be ready for Blackpool on the 14th. Bryn Half, our squad is injured. 88th minute winner. Much needed 3 points. Yeah, exactly. I think we counted at least... And that is at least, by the way, 14 injuries, which is unbelievable. Right, actually, none of the games are actually shown on the red button now, so clearly they've stopped coverage from all of them, actually. So, yeah, let's leave that. Riley's really, really happy with the situation. Well, to be fair, the yellow card came 2 minutes after the goal, so I don't know if it was him taking off his shirt which got him the yellow card, but potentially some form of antics of typical Ched Evans probably resulted in that. But that is a big result for Preston. But let's actually talk about the match we watched. Norwich versus Watford. Let's actually review this first, since we have got some Watford fans here. So, Aldous, I guess you're about to leave. So, Norwich 0, Watford 1. In terms of chances, I think Watford earned it. They definitely created the better chances. Oh, he has gone. So, yeah, Watford for me have earned it based on the chances they made. Possession-wise, Norwich did better. But that was practically the only compliment I can give them. They definitely improved at getting more stronger chances, Norwich, as the game went on. But it still was just hopeful chances and long shots that really weren't testing Batman whatsoever. The thing with Watford, it was Vakoum Baya who scores his 4th goal of the season. It's a mistake on McCallum not being able to tackle Sarr, who led on that counter-attack there. But, yeah, McCallum actually started that as well. because it was his missed kick which started the counter-attack. And yeah, initially his tackle was just not strong enough to stop it. Sam McCallum will be getting pelters for that. He definitely really caused that goal for Watford there. And Omar Bamadeli is not quick enough to stop the cross as well. So defensive mistakes all around for Norwich. A lot of work's got to be done on them. Davis had the first big chance of the game where he had a shot which was saved by Gunn in the first half. But that was really the only major chance. Norwich had a goal disallowed when Hanley had a header which was disallowed from offside. Sarah had a free kick after Watford scored that came off the crossbar. But other than that, Norwich for me did not do enough. The thing with Watford now, there is still a concern with a number of players that went off injured. I maybe forgetting a couple, but Keenan Davis went off. We had Kalu go off at one point. We had Kabasele go off. You know, there's lots of players that went off. Backman, we thought could have gone off, but he carried on, to be fair, and he carried on his goalkeeping duties. And the relief for his part is that he didn't need too much to do because Norwich just weren't hitting the target. Salisbury probably might leave this window. That'll be a shame for Watford if he does, but he definitely was a big involvement in that goal. Preston win. Yeah, big result for Preston. 1-0 Preston, and that puts Preston into 10th place. Right, so let's actually go through stats lastly, and then we'll end the stream here. Just so I can back up my points. That's a really crucial win for Preston there. So, you can see with the amount of shots that Norwich had, not too many in the box. You can see, as I was saying, a lot of their shots coming in from just outside of the box. And you can see here, Watford having way more success at asking questions from inside of the box. So let's actually talk about the shots. 15 shots to 12, so very close. And as I'm saying, Watford looking more clinical. 3 shots on target to Norwich's 1. 1 shot on target out of 15, which is very poor. 9 shots of target out of their 15 there, which if I can do the maths, that is 3/5, 60% of their shots going off target, and then a third of them being blocked. But that is going to be a positive performance on Watford's defence. So going through the injuries now. So Kalu, Davis, and Kabasele, I think was the other one. Yeah, I think those were the only 3 that I got to. 17 fouls from Watford. 3 big chances and 2 missed for Watford. There definitely have been some big chances there. Norwich hitting the woodwork, of course, which was from that Sarah free kick. But yeah, other than that, I think it was actually a well-earned win for Watford, and it puts them back into 4th. So now things don't look too bad for Watford there. If they can at least get to 3rd, you know, and improve their form, and hoping that maybe one of Sheffield United or Burnley slip up a bit, Watford may still have a very small, brief chance of trying to get into the top 2. Norwich, on the other hand, have got so many things to sort out. They've now got a 4-point gap from Watford there, and things are definitely not looking very optimistic on their part. Great channel, says Vijay. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Right, considering that's my coverage ending, let's actually end with a final bit of promotion. We're on 19 likes currently, so apparently with some of you watching, if you've not hit the like button, please do so. It really does help the growth of this channel if you do hit the like button. I really, truly do appreciate that. Let's try and get to maybe 25 before the end of the stream. That would be absolutely amazing if we can do that. For subscribers, we've actually gained a couple. It could have been potentially FS1GK and Riley coming in. Matt to 80-90. Watford with a great counter-attack goal to win the game. 3 smart passes and ball to make the goal. Indeed, Matt, it was a great counter-attack. Great movement for Ismail Assar as well. Very disastrous defending by McCallum, as I mentioned, but either way, it was a really good moment for Watford to pick up a late goal like that. So we've ended potentially 1586, maybe a couple more. If anyone would like to subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. But our goal is to get to 2,000 subscribers. We are not far away from that. So thank you guys, as always, for the terrific support. It is absolutely amazing. What team do I support? So I'm not going to spend too much time. So my Premier League team is Chelsea because my parents support them. I'm an Essex lad, so I look at the Essex teams as well. Colchester's the only Essex team left in the EFL football pyramid. So I look at them as well, and my local team will be Chelmsford, who are down 2 tiers below that. And because I do my full-time work in Ipswich, I look at them as well. Can't believe Norwich is out of the playoff position. Well, yeah, it goes to show how competitive this season is. And in fact, with only 15 minutes away, Brentford are going to play against Liverpool. I'd love to stay on, but I definitely need to get some things sorted. So, yeah, I think I covered everything. All these games there. Looked at the table, did the promotions and stuff like that. Right, that might be it for today. So, it was a really enjoyable stream today. Thank you guys for making it a brilliant stream once again. Final time as well. If you've not liked, please do so. It really helps. If you've not done, please hit the subscribe button. It helps as well. But also a thing that you can do outside of me streaming is sharing the channel too. All these things really do help the growth of this channel. Thank you, Lucky Cat Gatsby. He's still sitting around. He's waiting patiently for me to let him out, basically. So he can get his wish right now. So yeah, thank you guys as always for watching. Like, subscribe and share. All those things really do help. It really does help. And thank you everyone for a brilliant stream. 2023 promises to be a really good year again, hopefully for the channel. I don't know how much I will do, but I'll try and do as much as I can, considering I will be starting full-time work again starting tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary. It's only the stream. As always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys hopefully with a review video coming soon. Take care, everyone.